Oh, well, good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Hopefully you can hear me okay. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. Happy Wednesday. Welcome on in. Welcome on in. Sandra, we'll see you later. I saw you commented earlier. Sorry, I wasn't here. Dagburn. Hello, if you're still here. Kane B. Is this the purge? Nope, this is not the purge, but it might be. It just might be. How you doing, Kane B? Good to see you. Thanks for being here, everyone. I'll let some notifications click in. Hopefully everybody's having a wonderful night. Happy hump day. Let me turn that down. I'm going to try and keep an eye on my chat from my phone. Momos, hello. How are you? Good to see you. So I figured tonight, since the other night I know I was going to go live. Hi, Ro. How are you? I ended up not going live. It was just too hot where I was. I felt like crap, even with the AC on. It was just, yeah. So you know what? I didn't go live, and whatever. We're here now. I know the other day we only got up to supplemental report 100. So what I'm going to do today is start at 101, and I think we're going to try and get to at least 130. But I wanted to give you guys some good news. Lucy, well, hello. I almost said good morning. Ugh. Hi, darling. How are you? I know I was just talking to you. Terry, hello. Good to see you. So I have some good news. I don't know how good it is. I think there may be hope yet. I did get an email back today from the FBI letting me know that they've received my FOIA request and they're considering my fee waiver. And there's a little box that you can put when you're asking for a FOIA, whether or not you'd be willing to pay money, and if so, how much. And I clicked $1. And it gives you a box to be able to put like your reasoning, your justification for why you need a fee waiver. And my justification was because I'm an American taxpayer and you used my taxpayer dollars to investigate the case. So now we need to see your work. So I'm almost positive spooks have definitely tapped my phone. They've tapped my shit. They're here. Everybody say hello. They're probably lurking right now. I have no doubt about it. I was very specific in my FOIA and I was very clear as to why I shouldn't have to pay a damn dime for any of this information at all. And the most I'd be willing to pay is one fucking dollar. If there was an option to pay a penny, that's what I would have chosen. Know what I mean? Jane B, hello. Who wants to pet your cat? I don't want to pet your fucking cat. Young Black Economist, hello, darling. Welcome on in. Jesse, hello. How are you? Chipmunk feet. Too fast for fleece. You're so pretty. How are you? Welcome on in. What's a FOIA request? It's a Freedom of Information Act request. Uh, and every American citizen is entitled to basically anything that the government does with our money. We're allowed to say, hey, can we see your work? So that's what I'm hoping for. Basically, what I told them is I want to see their work in this case because now that the case is closed, the defendant has accepted a plea, the defendant has been sentenced, the gag order is lifted. There's no reason to continue to keep any of the documentation or the work that was done in this case by the FBI from the American public. And hopefully, it's not just me putting in the FOIAs. I hope everybody's putting in FOIAs, even if you're just a nosy person. You don't have to be a citizen journalist. You don't have to be on YouTube. You don't have to. It could be just because you're fucking nosy and you want the documents. It doesn't matter. You don't need a reason just because you want to see their work. Know what I mean? Mish girl, hello. How are you? Mike, hope that helps to answer your question. Welcome on in, Leslie and Billy. Good to see you. Yeah, well, that's what I mean. I'm sure, probably, darling, probably. But, it's just funny to me that I was actually surprised I even got an email back letting me know they're working on it and considering my request. I expected a big go fuck yourself. Absolutely not. So we'll see. I also got an email from Matthew Gammett, so that's good. I've heard back so far from the FBI and ISP. Um, so hey, there may be hope yet, friends. There may be hope yet. So, and also too, if anybody doesn't like the Michael Myers picture, I really don't know what else to say. In my mind, it's almost Halloween. We're almost at August 1st. I mean, it's almost Halloween. So, it starts now, friends. It starts now. Never mind the fact that whoever was in this house is absolutely fucking Michael Myers. Um, you know, and Michael Myers probably had some friends with him, you know. So hopefully the FBI is listening, and I hope that they're working on figuring out whoever Michael Myers had with him in this fucking house. You know what I'm saying? Right? If Brian's the guy, great, awesome, wonderful. Now find his fucking friends. That's all I have to say. I mean, I don't know what else to say. And I'm never gonna stop until they find his friends and they find who was in the house with him. I'm never gonna leave it alone. I don't care. People want to call me crazy. They can call me whatever they want to call me. Your crime scene and your witnesses are dictating you have more than one person in this house. And why you're not looking for those people, I don't know. But I'm going to be a pain in your fucking ass until you do. You know what I'm saying? I guess that's all I can say. Um, I don't know what else to say. Great. He's admitted guilt. Awesome. Now find his fucking accomplices, right? Find his accomplices. And, so it is what it is. Brian Koberger is Michael Myers, right? And we have no other choice as of right now other than to accept that. So, you know, it is what it is. You filed a FOIA on yourself. It's the only time you got info without money. So I know feds. That's funny. Oh, that's wicked funny. Well, exactly. Right, Lucy? We funded the investigation that the feds conducted in this case. The feds acted on behalf of the state. They acted as an agent of the state. And they used our money to conduct their investigation. They used our money to track him for weeks in Pennsylvania. They used our money to get their cell site simulator, $1 million vehicle, whatever the fuck they were, doing, right? All of these resources, all of this, every dime spent by the federal government to assist the state of Idaho, we have every right to know where it went. That was specifically one of the things I asked for, exactly what it cost, the cost breakdown of every resource that was utilized. Drones, right? SWATs, you name it. Whatever y'all were arranging out there, right? I don't know. I mean, that's just me. The way that I feel about it is, we're entitled to this information. And I guess you won't get it unless you ask, right? You'll never know unless you ask. So I did the FOIA, and, God forbid anything happens to me. You know who the fuck it was. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. I'm just being a jerk. I don't know if they're going to make me pay, but I did tell them I wouldn't be willing to pay more than a penny. So, but I don't know if you guys saw there was a new doc up. It's nothing important. It's just Hitler's order on the sentencing and all the fines and blah blah blah. But that document is there if anybody wants to go save it, to their file or whatever. Simply Solo. Hello, David Bird. Hello. Good to see you. I think this is why I called Wade Bird Sir the other day, because I get Wade Bird and David Bird confused. But welcome on in. Good to see you. Yeah, right. I know, right? Lucy, MM, Michael Myers, Molly McMichael. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. What the fuck, man? It is what it is. We are expected to believe it's absolutely Michael Myers in this house. And not only is he on the second and the third floor going ham, but he's also lighting fireworks and shit off on the first. So, I don't know what's happening, but this dude is a straight ninja. He's Michael Myers, Jason Bourne, John Wick, all rolled into one. Know what I mean? It's interesting. It's very, very interesting. And he seems to be just fine with everybody thinking that too. Like I need proof. I need to see him in action. I need to see like can he physically in action. I'm not even trying to be an asshole. I'm really not. I need to see how he is Michael Myers, John Wick, and Jason Bourne all in one. Because according to the law enforcement narrative, the person who did this was able to take out all 4 victims in 2 to 4 minutes. That's in their own paperwork. 2 to 4 minutes. When 2 of the victims have a combined almost 100 stab wounds. You still have 2 other people to get to, and you got to fucking light fireworks off on the first floor, too. Know what I'm saying? Pretty wild. But anyways, what do I know? As always, friends, thank you for being here. Mods, thank you for being here. Don't forget, I don't know shit. There are no facts here. Do not listen to anything I say in any of my live streams. Read the documents for yourself. Come to your own conclusions. I'm just some snarky bitch on the internet reading docs. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. No facts here. Let's start at number 101. Da, 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 da. We'll get right into it. Let's see. Supplemental report number 101. Hopefully, you guys all know when I am in another window reading documents, I cannot see my chat. So, hello, welcome in. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up on your way in. Stay kind in chat. All right. Supplemental report number 101 from Brett Payne, written January 6th, 2023. This is collection of additional evidence. Collection of additional evidence. We have item 437, a nightstand. Item 438, a pink comforter. Item 439, a blue blanket. Item 440, pillows. How many, motherfucker? 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 12. How many? Pillows. Says it again down here. Pillows. Again, down here. Pillows. How many? 2, 3, 7, 4. I guess we just have to guess. Item 441, a mattress. Item 442, a bed frame. Item 443, a mattress. Item 444, a bed frame. 446, a sheet. 447, a nightstand. 448, pillows. Narrative. At approximately 1400 hours on January 6, 2023, so at 2 o'clock on January 6, 2023, assisted by members of the Idaho State Police and the FBI, additional evidence items were collected from 1122 King Road. The above items were collected and transported to the Moscow Police Department and booked into evidence. How many is that? Let me see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Wasn't there a time when someone said there was additional 12 pieces of evidence booked in? They wanted to know like what those pieces were. I don't know if this is around the same date, but I wonder if that's what this is. So January 6, 2023, assisted by members of the Idaho State Police and the FBI, additional evidence items were collected. All right. Stop sharing that one. That's supplemental report number 101. Let's head on to number 102. Did it remove my audio there for a minute? Yeah, it did. What's this fucking thing doing? Hang on, friends. There we go. That's how I want it. Okay. All right. Sorry, guys. Nothing half-assed. Hello. Welcome on in. Pagan Ways. Hello. Good to see you. Who else am I missing? Woman Power 101. Hello. All right. Well, let's see. Let's go to number 102. All right. Supplemental report number 102. It's from Danny Vargas. Type this up on January 10th, 2023. Release of Dylan Mortenson's personal items on January 4th, 2023 at approximately 10:30. I released the remainder of Dylan Mortenson's personal property to redacted. LR, I'm guessing is her mother. LR, I don't know. I know her mom's name is Lily, so I don't know. R signed for and released the items. Signed release attached electronically. On January 5th, I learned from Bill Thompson, per the recent signed court order, to hold all evidence. Dylan Mortenson's items fell under that order. Thompson stated his office would contact Dylan and make arrangements to have Dylan's items returned to the MPD. On January 6th, Sergeant Blaker traveled to Boise and picked up Dylan's personal belongings from LR. Yeah, that's her mother. And transported them back to MPD. On January 9th, I assisted Sergeant Blaker with unloading Dylan's items from his vehicle back into MPD secured storage. Okay, so Dustin Blaker held on to Dylan's fucking electronics, the personal property, right, for 3 days in his car. He picked it up January 6th, held in his car for 3 days. Furthermore, now we understand why Josiah Roloff, right, is saying, yeah, so we found all of this like deleted shit in her devices, altered, deleted, etc., because she had her shit back for what looks like 24 to 48 hours, somewhere around there, if I remember correctly. So they gave it back to her on accident, right? Even though it fell under the pieces of evidence category. It was given back to her, oopsie poopsie. She has that shit for 24 to 36 hours, whatever it is. And then they have to go back and get it. And then it sits in Blaker's car for 3 days. Isn't that interesting? Now we know why Josiah is like, yeah, so we got a bunch of deleted, altered shit. There's altered images. Things are, you know. Now we know why Josiah Roloff found a bunch of shit in her devices. Interesting. All right, so that was supplemental report number 102. Let's go get number 103. Rayannette, hello. Good to see you. Welcome on in. Missy Moo, hello. Gracefully Salty, hello. Welcome in, everyone. Good to see you here. All right, let's go to number 103. Okay, this is supplemental report number 103. This is Danny Vargas again. She's typing this up on January 10th. So, interview Brian Koberger's neighbors, FA and AA, on December 30th, 2022, at approximately 6:30. I stood by while a search warrant was served at Redacted, the residence of Brian Koberger. While on scene, one of the neighbors, AA, who lived in the same building, stated her husband returned home and he might have additional information to add regarding Brian. A had been interviewed earlier in the day by several FBI agents prior to F returning home. Interesting. Interviewed by several FBI agents. Ooh, I hope it's in their FOIA. I hope these interviews and notes on these interviews are in that FOIA request of mine, because I did ask for all the notes. Notes, narratives, reports, supplementals, all of it. Prior to F returning home, Detective Mowry and I met with A and FA in their apartment. I recorded the conversation with my phone and informed FA I would be recording our conversation, which they were fine with. Oh, F and A. A said she had been speaking with F about the questions that she was asked. One question being if she had ever seen Brian with anyone else. F told me they did remember a time when they returned home and said they saw Brian sitting on the stairs leading up to his apartment next to a male. F and A described the male as having light brown skin, a sleeve tattoo on his left arm, wearing a sleeveless shirt and shorts. F said the male was riding a dark color, blue or black Harley type motorcycle. F said the motorcycle was not a sport bike and it was very loud. F said he and A both noticed Brian and the male talking, but said as soon as they got closer, Brian and the male stopped talking and looked at them. A said Brian acknowledged them and asked how it was going. A said it seemed as if Brian was acting overly nice. A and F said when they walked away to their apartment, Brian and the male were still silent and did not continue their conversation. F said he saw the male get up and heard the motorcycle start, but did not see him drive off. F and A said this was the only time they ever saw this person or saw or heard the motorcycle. F and A said Brian seemed like a quiet person, and they remembered meeting Brian's dad when Brian moved in. F said Brian's dad was very talkative. F and A said Brian's car was always clean and neat, even on rainy days. A said, oh, so there you go. His car was always clean and neat, even on rainy days. A said Brian would often park his car right in front of their bedroom window, and they would notice the headlights when he came and went. F and A did not notice when and if Brian changed the plates on his vehicle. F looked through his phone and thought, on the night of the murders, he probably went to bed around midnight. F did not remember seeing lights from Brian's car or knowing if Brian was home or not. F mentioned on another occasion seeing Brian return home around 1 o'clock and said he was wearing dark clothing, had on a dark colored backpack, and when they said hi to him, he seemed pretty short with them. F did not remember what day this occurred, but said it was not the night of the murders. A said she worked late hours often and would also see Brian returning home around the same time she would, around 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. See, so it's normal for Brian to be up and about and moving around till early hours of the morning, cleaning his car. It's just normal. It's just normal for him to do this. We thanked F and A for their time and told them to contact us if they remembered anything else. Our conversation with F and A was recorded and is booked on a DVD into MPD evidence. Okay. All right. So that was supplemental report number 103, Danny Vargas. Let's go to number 104. Welcome in, everybody. Sorry I can't see chat. Here we go. Now I can see chat. Twiz, what up? How you doing? Welcome on in. Thanks for being here. Who else am I missing? Joey, hello, darling. How are you? Beach babe, good to see you. Need some Z's. Did I get you? Meg P, beautiful Meg P. Hello, darling. Mercy Cat, I know you're probably going to catch this on the replay, darling. But we love you and we miss you so much, and we hope you're enjoying wherever you are. I will not disclose Mercy Cat's location, but it's somewhere beautiful, and I hope she's enjoying every single second. All right. What was that? 103? Let's get to number 104. All right. Supplemental report number 104 from Brett Payne. Ugh. All right, 104. Brett Payne. January 10th, 2023, interview with MM. On November 23rd. one day after the feds had placed a trap and trace on Molly McMichael slash Michael Myers' phone, she is walking into the Moscow Police Department to be interviewed about her presence in the area of 1122 King Road during the early morning hours of November 13th. So Molly McMichael here is walking into the police department to be interviewed the day after a trap and trace has been placed on her phone, and almost 2 weeks before the DoorDash warrant even goes out. Just wanted to point that out. Molly was identified as being in the area through records obtained from DoorDash via a search warrant. Okay, well, you're lying. That is a blatant, bald-faced lie, because the search warrant for Google did not go out until December 5th. So, unfortunately, you cannot say that Molly was identified as being in the area through records obtained via a DoorDash warrant, because that DoorDash warrant did not go out until December 5th, if I remember correctly. Sure, someone in the chat knows for sure, Lucy darling. If I'm wrong about December 5th, I'm sure Lucy or Meg P will put it in the chat, but I'm almost positive the DoorDash was December 5th. And so he's saying Molly was identified as being in the area through records obtained via a DoorDash search warrant, and was confirmed as being in the area based off a Google geofence warrant, which was obtained as a result of this investigation. I was accompanied by FBI Special Agent Alex Skelton during this interview. Alex Skelton is the same one who wanted all of the records from the University of Idaho's Office of Civil Rights and Investigations. So here, right, Brett Payne, darling, if you're listening, Brett Payne, you do understand that you didn't even have to put in here that Molly was identified as being in the area through records obtained via the DoorDash warrant, because the DoorDash warrant hadn't been served yet. You could have just stuck with, we know she was there because of our Google geofence warrant, our tower dump, right? But because he didn't even have to put this in here, is all I'm saying. Like, she was not identified through records obtained via a DoorDash warrant, because the DoorDash warrant hasn't happened yet on November 23rd. Okay, just saying. Molly told me she worked for 12 to 18 hours on the night of November 12th to the 13th and received 3 orders in the King Road, Queen Road area. 2 of the orders were at the blank Queen Road apartment complex, which is immediately to the east of 1122 King. Molly said the delivery at 1122 King was her final order for the evening. I bet it was. Molly said she could not find the 1122 King Road address, as the address number was hidden by the porch light, which is what caused her to remain in the area for approximately 15 minutes. Molly also stated her Google Maps told her to go to the parking lot immediately behind 1122 King Road. Molly stated she initially parked in front of 1122 King Road and could see a female in the top left window, 3rd-story bathroom. Molly said she saw the same female a couple more times in the same window, and she would duck down when Molly was looking at her. Molly then said she drove to the back parking lot behind 1122 King Road and parked. She stated she could see the back courtyard area behind the house and noticed all of the lights were on. Molly stated her map told her to walk into the back of the house, but she did not feel comfortable doing so because there was no path. Molly said she started to walk down the road, which runs north-south immediately to the east of the residence. So she starts to walk down to the front door. Molly stated a tan sedan drove next to her while she was walking. Molly said there was one male driver and noticed he, quote, he did not look at me. She said he looked, quote, completely zoned and just drove by her. Molly later stated the driver was white with blonde or red spiky hair. Molly also noticed the dome light in the car was on when it went by and later told me the male was wearing a light colored collared shirt. Molly stated she walked back up to her car and drove back to the front of 1122 King Road, at which point she saw the address numbers. Molly said she placed the order at the front door, took a picture, and left at approximately 4 o'clock. Okay, so then they should have her car pulling in at approximately 3:45 a.m. on their little light bulb camera footage there. There should be clear video of her pulling in at approximately 3:45 since she claims she was in the area for approximately 15 minutes, right? Shoe prints out back, small hand prints on the door. Large shoe prints out back, small hand prints on the door. Interesting. During the time Molly was in the area of King Road residence, the white Elantra can be seen via the King Road camera driving back and forth on Malenta and then entering the King Road Queen Road loop at approximately 3:56. Okay, so which car in this video is Molly's? Right? You've determined that this car at 3:56 is your white Elantra, but where's Molly's car? Which one is hers in the video? Because I noticed they haven't pointed that out yet. In your video here, when you're determining vehicles, exactly which vehicle is Molly's and exactly what time does it pull into the neighborhood? At the point Molly pulled into the front parking lot before she dropped the order off, the white Elantra pulled in behind Molly's vehicle, a gray Subaru Forester. The white Elantra pulled in behind her at approximately 3:56 a.m. Would that be clear on their video? White Elantra pulled in behind her vehicle. It's a gray Subaru Forester. So somewhere on the 1122 King Road footage, we should have a gray Subaru Forester pulling into the area at approximately 3:56. Sorry, 3:45. And then the Elantra should be pulling in not long after. She's in a gray Subaru Forester. So the white Elantra pulled in behind her in the driveway of 1122 King Road, allegedly, and then exited the King Road at approximately 3:58. So it pulled in for about 2 minutes. Interesting. Molly did not mention seeing the white Elantra behind her at any time. Then how does she know it pulled in behind her? Let's read this again. At that point, Molly pulled into the front parking lot. Before she dropped the order off, the white Elantra pulled in behind Molly's vehicle and then exited the King Road at approximately 3:58. Molly did not mention seeing the white Elantra behind her at any time. Well, then, what do you mean she has not mentioned seeing the white Elantra behind her at any time? She just told you it fucking pulled in behind her. The white Elantra, she says, Molly pulled into the front parking lot. And before she dropped off the order, the white Elantra pulled in behind Molly's vehicle. I continued to question Molly about her time near the residence. She told me she walked down Queen Road at one point with her flashlight out. Molly can be seen doing so on the footage from blank King Road. Really? What footage from King Road can you see Molly walking from behind the house in between Queen Road and the King Road residence? The Queen Road apartments and the King Road residence. The light bulb camera picked this up? Right. So you're telling me that the light bulb camera from 1112 King that's on the front porch could see the parking lot behind the King Road house and the little road that goes between the Queen Road apartments and the King Road residence? Molly also continued to tell me the female she saw in the upstairs bathroom window would duck down when Molly looked at her. Molly described her as having long brown hair. Molly stated she could not identify the girl as one of the victims. Interesting. Could not identify the girl as one of the victims. Interesting. Well, we only have one dark-haired victim here. That's a female. Approximately 30 minutes into the interview, Special Agent Skelton requested Molly take part in a cognitive interview. Molly agreed, and Special Agent Skelton began the cognitive interview. During this interview, Molly confirmed much of the information she already told us. Molly was able to remember she had her dog with her during one of her walks in the area, but did not clarify much more in the ways of the details of the evening. Molly was able to remember she had her dog with her. Interesting. During one of her walks in the area. How many fucking walks did she do? How many walks? And she's got her dog with her for one of them? Really? Because we can hear a dog barking for like a damn hour, right? Allegedly, in these videos. We thank Molly for her cooperation and offered any support she may need and concluded our interview. Really. Subsequent investigation of video footage and cellular data showed the quote tan sedan Molly saw was likely a light colored SUV which left the area. Moreover, it does not appear Molly saw the white Elantra at any point during her time near the residence. Really? Interesting. Well, then how the fuck was the state going to use her as a witness? How the hell would the state be able to use her as a witness then if she never saw the damn car? This is insane. Gotta be shitting me. Who wrote this shit? Brett Payne, of course. Manga. All right, supplemental report number 104. Let's go on to number 105. Jeez. Oopsie. Did I just close myself out? Nope, there we go. Silent G, what up? Welcome on in. Good to see you. Christy Nevada, hello. How are you, darling? Good to see you. Yeah, I know, right? I don't know. I don't know why she's so important. Not sure. Jesse Schul, good to see you. Michelle, hello, darling. How are you? Good to see you. Don't be hating. Hello. All right. Let's get into the next one. Guys, stay kind in chat. Grow up. We're all adults here. Okay? If you guys can't act like adults, like go to your cry closets or some shit. You know what I mean? Literally. Go find a fucking cry corner somewhere. My God. Grow up. Act like adults, gentlemen. Are you gentlemen? Act like it. All right. Next one. Supplemental report number 105. Let's make that a little bit bigger. Justine, hello. Good to see you. All right. Let's see. Supplemental report number 105. It's from Lawrence Mowry, written on January 10th. This is Koberger's phone data. Remember all the questions Miss Masseth had about Koberger's phone data and the extraction that was done in Pennsylvania and the USB that the extraction, who did it, who brought the USB back to Idaho? Where's the physical device if all you brought back was the USB? Extraction, all of those things. You remember all that? All right. So on December 29th, 2022, who wrote this? Lawrence Mowry. On December 29th, 2022, based on the above information, what above information? The Latah County Court signed an order finding probable cause for the criminal complaint charging burglary, 4 counts of murder in the first degree, blah, blah, blah. A warrant of arrest was issued for Brian C. Koberger. On December 29th, 2022, Brian Koberger was arrested at his family's home, redacted in Albrightsville, Pennsylvania. That same day, a Pennsylvania magistrate signed a search warrant for the residence, which included Brian Koberger's cell phone. Brian Koberger's cell phone was taken into evidence as part of that search warrant. Koberger's cell phone device is currently in evidence at the FBI's Philadelphia Regional Computer Forensics Laboratory, located at Redacted. The phone data was extracted by FBI Special Agent Jeffrey Tanzola subsequent to the warrant being served. On January 9th, 2023, I received a hard drive from Special Agent Tanzola, which contains a copy of the data extracted from the phone belonging to Koberger. The data is saved on a Seagate 2 terabit external USB drive with serial number redacted and is labeled as Philadelphia RCFL evidence number 000434447. I applied for and was granted a search warrant seeking the evidence from the hard drive provided by Pennsylvania, which contains a forensic image of Brian Koberger's phone, which was stored in the secured computer forensics lab at the Moscow Police Department. Let me pause here for 1 second. Remember when we were talking yesterday? And I said, I'm starting to get the feeling the more and more I read about what the FBI was doing here. It's like the FBI, they didn't need Mowry, right, to do an extraction. If they already had the person's phone, they could do the extraction. They don't need Mowry to do it. So, as you can see here, the FBI are the ones who took possession of Brian's physical phone. Okay? In Philadelphia at the FBI Regional Computer Forensics Laboratory located at Redacted. The data on the phone was extracted by Special Agent Tanzola. Tanzola, after that, did not send the device to Mowry. He sent a hard drive there's going to be some of you who do not get that, and then some of you who immediately get it. Okay? The FBI kept his phone. The FBI did the extraction. They provided that extraction to Lawrence Mowry. A lot of other stuff they were giving to Lawrence Mowry on hard drives and thumb drives. Let's not forget, some of these thumb drives in the possession of Lawrence Mowry and Corporal Brett Payne weren't found for months because they forgot they had them and just kept them in locked cabinets in their fucking offices. So, let's continue. Sometimes the FBI just likes to hang out in the background, okay? And they just like to watch what everybody's doing. It's spooks doing spook shit. And that's what they like to do. They like to spook around and they want to see if you're going to play fiddly fuck. And I truly think that's what they were doing here. It's just my opinion. At 1550 hours on January 9th, I served the warrant on the hard drive located in the forensics lab. Pursuant to the warrant, I downloaded the files to the forensic computers located in the secure forensic computer lab at the Moscow Police Department. So on January 9th, he downloaded all of the information that the FBI sent him from Brian's phone, downloaded everything from the hard drive that the FBI sent him. Wonder if he did anything with it after. I began examining the data for any accounts linked to the phone and Koberger with other electronic service providers, such as Facebook, Snapchat, etc. I located the following installed applications, website history, screenshots, and usernames, passwords associated with an electronic service provider. He had LinkedIn, Reddit, Twitter, Tinder, Dropbox, Washington Trust Bank, PayPal, YouTube, TikTok and Musical.ly, Amazon, Visa prepaid processing, When to Meet, Activision, GroupMe, NetTeller, Hulu, Instagram, Facebook, PSECU, Spotify, Booking.com, Travelocity, Strava, and NordVPN. These electronic service providers may be storing data relevant to the investigation, which may have been deleted from the device. I will be requesting assistance from the Latah County Prosecutor's Office to apply for warrants to these companies for any data from accounts related to the following identifiers located in the phone data. Let's see, he has 2 Gmails. Remember one of these was wrong though? Remember Miss Masseth, she got Mowry to admit that on the stand, or Payne, I forget which one, that one of the emails they were using was wrong. It wasn't even Koberger's. Fucking idiots. All right, let's stop sharing that one. Let's see. Let's go on to the next. Meanie, hello. Kate, hello. Beckles, Peaches. Hi, everybody. Sorry, I was in another window reading. Welcome on in. Good to see you. Hope you're having a happy hump day. Let's get on to the next one. Supplemental report number 106. I'd like to get to number 130. I did finally just break down and pay. StreamYard is doing a special right now where it's like half off for the year. And it came out to like, I don't know, 18 bucks a month or something, 20 bucks a month for the year. So I ended up just breaking down today. I paid the few $100s to be able to not have to worry about time, not have to worry about nothing. I have cloud storage and all of this bullshit. I can also record, pre-record, and things like that. So, yeah. I just broke down and paid the money today and said, fuck it. We're just going to do StreamYard for the year. And hopefully, because Restream gives me a lot of problems. So hopefully this is much better with StreamYard now that I'm a paying person. Maybe my audio and stuff will be better too. I have no idea. I haven't seen any red flags going up in chat yet about my audio. So let me come over here and check. What's that say? Michael doesn't find it funny, Kane. Well, Michael can kiss my ass. You know what I mean? All right. Let's get into this next one. Supplemental report number 106, also from Brett Payne. Hopefully everybody can see that okay. Yeah, I don't want to have anybody's comment up on the screen or anything like that. Make sure that's gone. Make that bigger. There we go. All right. As you can see here, number 106 from Brett Payne. Same day, January 10th. Interview of EA. Narrative on November 13th, 2022 at approximately 13:49. So Brett Payne interviews Emily Atlanta at 13:49. So at 1:49, he's interviewing Emily. Doesn't arrive to the scene until approximately 4, he says, correct? Ah, Carrie, thank you so very much, darling. What is that, a super sticker? I think that's a super sticker. Thank you so much for your $20 super sticker. I really, truly appreciate it. That was so very nice of you. You didn't have to do that, but I appreciate you, and I'm going to star that. How do I do that? I don't even know how I do this. I don't know how to do that, but I have it starred on my end over here in my backside, so whatever that means. Uh, but thank you so much. I truly appreciate you. That was so nice of you, Carrie. Let's see here. So this is interesting. So at 1:49, he's already interviewing Emily Alant, but he hasn't even been to the scene yet. So that's interesting. 13:49. I interviewed EA at the Moscow Police Department, referencing the quadruple homicide at 1122 King Road. I asked A what her relationship to the victims was. She told me Kernodle was her best friend, and the others were all her close friends as well. After I collected her information, I asked A to tell me about her day on November 12th. A stated she left the football game and then went to see friends of hers at an apartment near hers on Taylor Avenue. A stated she arrived at her apartment at approximately 20:30. A stated she, J, H, J, and L all went to sleep early in the evening of November 12th. A stated they planned to go to the redacted lodge party but did not end up going. Oh, Moose Lodge? Maybe that's what that was. Let's see. A stated she and H woke up at approximately 1 o'clock in the morning. Interesting. And then stayed up watching TV until approximately 3. At 3, huh? At which point they went back to sleep. A stated she woke up at approximately 10:30 on November 13th, 2022. A stated M called her at approximately 11:51 that morning and said, last night around 4 a.m., she heard and saw a man. She and Bethany were locked in their room sleeping and added she wanted A to come over and check the house. M called her. Who's M that's inside that house? Alant stated M called her at approximately 11:51 that morning and said, quote, last night around 4 a.m., she heard and saw a man and she and Bethany were locked in their rooms sleeping, end quote, and added she wanted A to come over and check the house because she was too scared. Oh, Mortensen. Durr. That's right. It's Payne. He's using last names. Last names. My bad. Mortensen. Okay. My bad. A also said Mortensen heard Gonsalves scream and run up the stairs. Well, that's interesting. She told the cops she heard Kaylee screaming running down the stairs. A while later, Mortensen came out of her room and saw the man staring at her. Alant stated the man didn't do anything to Mortensen. Mortensen said she stayed locked in her room and heard the side door close, so she ran to Bethany's room. Hmm. Heard the side door close. That shit was wide open allegedly when police got there. So who opened it? I asked Alant if she and Mortensen. Oh, I asked Alant if she asked Mortensen why she didn't call anyone that night. Alant stated Mortensen told her it was because she was intoxicated and didn't want to believe what was going on. Really? I thought it's because they were sleeping. I thought it's because they were sleeping. I thought it's because they were sleeping. So, according to Emily Alant, Dylan told her the reason she didn't call 911 or anyone else for that matter is because, well, I was wicked intoxicated and I didn't want to believe what was going on. Mortensen also told Alant the man was wearing a mask and could only see his eyes and nose. Alant stated Johnson went over to the house just before her. When Alant arrived, she stated she went upstairs but was stopped by Johnson, who told Alant she didn't want to see it. Alant went back outside and officers responded. I asked Alant if anything seemed out of the ordinary from what she saw. She told me there was a large party at the house on Friday, November 11th. Alant stated the house was a mess due to the party. Alant also told me she saw a knife laying on the floor at the top of the stairs when she went inside. Alant described the knife as a steak knife. It was later determined Johnson grabbed this knife when he entered the house. Alant stated she remained outside after she walked out of the residence until law enforcement arrived. She also stated she then came to the Moscow Police Department to be interviewed. I asked Alant if she knew who would commit the murders. Alant stated she did not know. Alant added she and Kernodle will no longer redacted sorority members. I asked her if there had been any stalking behavior or recent suspicious circumstances. Alant stated there had not been anything she could remember. She also stated there were no conflicts with the other victims she knew of. I concluded my interview with Alant after collecting the information about her cell phone. Okay, so Alant also told me she saw a knife laying on the floor at the top of the stairs when she went inside. Well, that's interesting because Hunter says he put it on the fucking ping pong beer pong table, right? And isn't it interesting that Hunter claims he went into the house and he grabbed the kitchen knife because he was afraid the perpetrator may still be in the home, and yet the only thing he checked for a perpetrator was Xana's closet. It's the only place he went in the house. In fact, when the police arrive, they tell him to stay put in the living room, and the officer stands there with him in the living room, having no idea whether or not if Michael Myers is still in the fucking house. House hasn't been swept, rooms haven't been checked, nothing. But allegedly, that's why he grabbed the knife, because he was making sure the perp wasn't still there. And the only spot he checked was Xana's closet for the perp, huh? When the officer arrives, the both of them just stand there together in the living room. The officer doesn't even know whether or not Michael Myers is still in a closet somewhere. It's wild. Absolutely wild. Stop sharing that one. Like, I don't get it. I just don't get it. Know what I mean? You're Officer Smith or Nunes or whoever. You get to the top of the stairs when you arrive. Hunter Johnson's standing there with a fucking knife in his hand, and you're like, hey, motherfucker, don't move. Stay right there. Right? Okay? And then the both of you just stand there kind of chit-chatting or whatever based on one of these other reports that we read. The house hasn't, they had literally have no idea whether or not Michael Myers is still upstairs or in Dylan's room or hiding in the little fucking cleaning closet right there by the kitchen. They have no idea. Absolutely insane. Let's get on to the next one. What are you talking about, Kane? Supplemental report number 107. Let's get to that. Dustin Blaker, number 107. This is typed up on January 11th. So on November 13th, he does the interview. He types the report January 11th. All right. So on November 13th, 2022, at around 14:19, so 2:19. So as Emily Alant is being interviewed by Payne, Blaker is conducting an interview with Hunter Chapin, it appears. Let's see. On November 13th at around 14:19, I conducted an interview with HC at the Moscow Police Department. H, redacted one of the victims. So obviously Hunter, I'm guessing it says, is the brother of one of the victims. Hunter is a student at the University of Idaho and is a member of the redacted fraternity. Hunter lives at the fraternity. Hunter told me he and Ethan went to a formal dinner with their sister, Maisie. Maisie is a member of the blank sorority. The formal was at around 1800 hours at the Hunga Dunga Brewery. At the formal, after the formal was over, they went back to redacted. Ethan, Xana, and Hunter were all hanging out in his apartment at the fraternity. Hunter last saw Ethan and Xana at 2100 hours when he left his apartment to go up to the main lodge where the house party was at. Hunter returned at 21:15 and Ethan and Xana were gone. Okay. Hunter stated he went to bed around 2200 hours. I asked Hunter if Ethan had any issues with anyone, and he told me no. I asked Hunter if he knew if Xana had any issues with anyone, and he told me no. Hunter was not able to provide me with any further information. Did you get his phone? Did they ever get Hunter's phone and download it? I know they got a consent form from Maisie or something. I remember that. Doesn't say nothing here, though, about collecting his phone or getting consent to do a forensic download. Not seeing nothing like that, so that's interesting. 107. Let's move on to 108. Happy hump day, everybody. Sorry if I can't see you in chat. You like Hunter Kane? I don't like anybody. I don't like anybody involved in this fucking case, you know? I'll just be straight up honest, man. It is what it is. I'm entitled to my feelings, you know? And you're entitled to yours. I still love you, Kane. I just don't like anybody in this case. Any of them. I side-eye all of them. Sorry. All right, let's see. Supplemental report number 108. This is from Mr. Blaker. 1/11/2023. This is interview with JL. I'm guessing this is Josie, but don't quote me. On November 11th at around 14:27. Yeah. November 11th, huh? Blaker. You were interviewing her 2 days before the murders, huh, Blaker? Is that what you were doing? You didn't have on your body cam. Did you even record it? How do you get the date wrong, Blaker? How do you get the date wrong? It's simple. The crime happened November 13th. How are you even typing up on November 11th, 2022? You interviewed JL at the Moscow Police Department, huh? 2 days before the murders? You interviewed her? Obviously, I know this is a typo. I'm not stupid. The point that I'm getting at here, right, is that I don't even know how you could get that wrong. That's all, right? You would still have to type 1 twice, and then you never typed the 3 for the date. You'd have to type the 1 twice and never type the 3 to even accidentally write November 11th. Know what I mean? I conducted an interview on JL at the Moscow Police Department. Jay told me she lives at redacted Taylor Avenue. These apartments are referred to as the Whites. Jay stated she went to 1122 King Road in the afternoon, 11/12/2022, and she was hanging out with Xana. Jay stated they all went to the Whites at around 1300 hours for different parties in the apartment complex. Ethan left to go to his sister's formal, but Jay was not sure what time that was at. Jay felt she got to Xana's house around 12:30 on 11/12. Jay stated she saw Xana, Ethan, Dylan, Bethany, Kaylee, Maddie, CL, L, and E. Jay told me she feels she last saw Xana and Ethan around 1500 hours, but was not sure. Jay told me she got a text from Ethan asking for the Snapchat of CG, but never sent it to him. Sidebar concerning Ethan while it's on my mind. She got a text from Ethan. Bethany told the police that Ethan had his own apartment. She just wasn't sure where it was. And I'm not seeing anywhere in over 300 of these supplemental reports where law enforcement located Ethan Chapin's apartment and served a search warrant on it. Just saying. So I'm really interested to know, did they ever locate Ethan Chapin's apartment? And was a search warrant ever served on it? Was the apartment ever checked? Just saying. Allegedly, Ethan had an apartment nearby, but Bethany didn't know where it was. Interesting. So while I'm thinking about Ethan, I just wanted to kind of throw that out there. I'm seeing nowhere in any of these reports that they attempted to find Ethan's apartment, check it, nothing. So just wanted to throw that out there. Let's see. Jay told me she got a text from Ethan asking for the Snapchat for CG, but she never sent it to him. Jay did not know why Ethan wanted this information and stated as far as she knew, they did not have issues with each other. Jay then told me where she had heard from others that Kaylee had seen some random guy behind the house when she took Murphy out to go pee. Jay also heard of an incident where some random guy followed Kaylee around Winco and followed her out of the store, and she thought he tried to get into her car. Jay was not sure. Jay was not sure for sure who she heard this from, but either B or D could tell us more. Jay told me she knows Anna and Ethan do like to use Adderall when they drink, but they did not know who they got it from or if they took it on 11/12/2022. Jay was not able to tell me anything else related to the case. Okay. So all of their friends are confirming, yes, they like to do cocaine, and yes, they like to do Adderall. Seems to be a consensus across the board from all of the friends that are being interviewed. And it's interesting that the police want to know if they took it on the 12th. Isn't that interesting? A lot of these questions the police have for them are concerning the 12th and Ethan and Xana. It's really interesting when you think about it. But what do I know? Let's get into the next one. Let's see. All right, supplemental report number 109. It's from Dustin Blaker. Also on January 11th, interview with AW. On November 13th, around 1441, so 241, I conducted an interview on AW at the Moscow Police Department. A lives at Blank Queen Road, which is in the area of 1122 King. A was working at the U of I football game and was at the game until around 2045. A did not have any interactions with any of the people who live at 1122 King Road. A saw and heard all of the emergency lights and sirens and looked out and saw some of her friends standing outside with white blankets around them. A went out and brought some more blankets to the people outside to try to help. A told me a few weeks ago, on October 14th, around 1 o'clock, she heard what she thought was a male walk up to her door and try to open the door. A stated she had her deadbolt and door were both locked. A told me she saw photos posted on Snapchat by Kaylee showing Kaylee and Maddie had been at the corner club and the grub truck. A was not able to tell me anything else about this case. Okay. Remember the Snapchat groups, right? All those Snapchat groups. Let me come back over to chat and say hello to everybody. If there's anyone I missed, I'm so sorry. Welcome on in, friends. Thank you so much again for your super sticker. Terry, what was that? A super sticker, super chat? I'm not sure the difference, but thank you so very much. I really appreciate it. Let's see. Next one. Supplemental report number 1. Yeah, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, friends. I mean, you're hanging out here anyway. Says there's like 150 people here. Give it a thumbs up. What are you doing? Thumbs up, thumbs down. I don't care. Follow your heart. Do something. All right. Supplemental report number 110 is from Brett Payne, typed up on January 11th, 2023. Collection of items from 1122 King Road. So this is what we already went over, right? On January 6th, I went back to the 1122 King Road with several members of the Idaho State Police and the FBI in order to collect several pieces of evidence at the request of the defense counsel in this case. Once on scene, we collected the mattress, bed frame, nightstand, pillows, and blankets from Kernodle's room. We also collected the mattress, bed frames times 2, folding frames, nightstand, pillows, and shelf from the east wall of Mogan's room. 2 folding frames in Mogan's room, bed frames. Once on scene, collected the mattress, bed frame, nightstand, pillows, and blankets from Kernodle's room. We also collected the mattress, bed frames times 2 folding frames, nightstand, pillows, and shelf from the east wall of Mogan's room. She had 2 bed frames, 2 folding frames. That's weird. Anyways, the items were wrapped and transported separately back to the Moscow Police Department, where they were placed on opposite sides of the MPD evidence bay. I completed the evidence involvement for each item, and they were secured in the bay. So all of this is what was collected because the defense requested it. The nightstand, comforter, blue blanket, pillows, mattress, bed frame, bed frame. So there's 3 bed frames, but only 2 mattresses. Isn't that weird? I don't know. It's listed as bed frames right here. Item 442, bed frame. Item 444, bed frame. Oh, maybe. No, that's weird. Why does it say times two? Oh, okay. I'm dumb. Don't listen to me. Forget it. I see. Two bed frames, two mattresses. Gotcha. One from each. Okay. That's weird, though, the way he wrote it. Bed frames times two from Maddie's room, the east wall of Mogan's room, allegedly. Whatever. They don't know how to write shit. All right. Stop sharing that. That was supplemental report number 110. Let's get into number 111. All right, supplemental report number 111, also from Brett Payne, typed up on January 11th, 2023. Interview with MC. I think this is Macy Chapin. Yeah. 13th, 2022 at approximately 14:20, so at 2:20. So at the same time, Blaker's interviewing Hunter, huh? Who was interviewing Hunter? Blaker, Payne? I don't even fucking remember. Brainworms. November 13th, 2022 at approximately 14:20, interviewed Macy Police Department, referencing the quadruple homicides at 122 King Road. Macy is Ethan Chapin's sister. Maisie consented to a forensic search phone. See? They get that from Hunter. I didn't see anything in that report about forensic search of Hunter's phone. I asked Maisie to tell me what her day looked like on November 12th. See? Again, I'm telling you, everything that they keep talking to these kids about referencing Ethan and Xana all has to do with the 12th, not the 13th. It's really weird. I asked Maisie to tell me what her day looked like on November 12th. Maisie stated she had her blank formal the night of November 12th. Maisie stated she did not do much prior to the formal and then went to Hunga Dunga for the event at approximately 1900 hours. Maisie said she, Hunter Chapin, and Ethan Chapin left the formal with several other friends at approximately 8 o'clock. Maisie stated she was dropped off at her house as the group was planning to go to the Redacted Lodge party. However, Maisie stated she did not go and remained at her sorority until Hunter called her the morning of November 13th at approximately 12:30. Maisie stated Hunter told her to come to Xana's when he called her. Maisie said Hunter did not elaborate on why she needed to come to the house. Maisie stated Hunter, J, H, C, E, A, J, unknown last, F, and M were all there when she arrived. Maisie said someone told her when she got there that someone was in the house and Ethan and Xana didn't make it. Someone was in the house. Maisie told me Ethan, Xana, and Hunter had been texting her the night prior, asking her to come to the Redacted. Maisie said she saw the text once she woke up the morning of November 13th. Maisie stated she did not go into the house that morning. Maisie could not think of anyone who or any reason why someone would commit these homicides. I concluded my interview with Maisie and advised her to reach out if she needed resources MPD could provide. Interesting. Stop sharing that one. Moving right along, let's get to number 112. Go. Just so you guys know, when we get to 115, we'll be halfway through, and I'm going to take like 40-second break. Just so you know, I will at 115 have to stop, and I'll put on some music or something for you guys for about 30 seconds. Let's see. Number 112, Dustin Blaker, January 11th. Interview with KF. On November 14th, 2022, at around 3:52, I called KF to arrange an interview with her. Kay had already left Moscow and was heading to southern Idaho to be with her family. Kay told me she had contact with B and D on 11/12. D arrived at her residence at approximately 8:30. No, 11:30, and Bethany arrived at her residence around 12:30, right? No, one's 10:30, one's 11:30. I don't know, whatever. Kay lives at Taylor Avenue. Bethany and Dylan were at her residence for 2 to 3 hours. Kay stated she walked them past the Whites sometime before 2 o'clock, but she could not positively tell me. Kay stated she stayed on Taylor and then turned around and she was not sure what route they took home for sure, but felt they kept walking west on Taylor towards King. Kay stated there was a group of 3 or 4 other females with Bethany and Dylan at the time. Kay did state she was drunk at the time and she could not recall all of the events and everyone who was present with the group. Kay stated she thought LM was with the group. Kay was not able to tell me anything else. Willie, what up, homie? Welcome on in. Good to see you. LM. LM is also, as we'll get to, when they did their bank, when they put out their search warrants for bank stuff, LM is one of the people. So it's not just the 4 victims and the 2 survivors. LM is in all the bank warrants too, which is really interesting. I don't know who LM is, but they were looking at their bank records. They were looking at their phone stuff. They were looking at all kinds of stuff for whoever this LM person is. I'm not sure who it is. Something, I don't even want to guess because I don't know who LM is, but all right. Let's see. Next one. Supplemental report number 113. All right. And this is the interview with Eric Gower, it looks like, by Blaker. None other than Blaker, huh? Of course it's Blaker. Interview with Eric Gower, supplemental report number 113. On November 14th, around 1700 hours, I contacted Eric Gower in the front lobby of the police department. Interesting. Gower had contacted Moscow Police Department earlier in the day and stated he is a local Uber driver, and he gave Kaylee and Maddie a ride home on 11/13/2022 from the downtown area. Gower had been in the Spokane, Coeur d'Alene area when he contacted us and stated he would not be back until approximately 1700 hours. So he's in Coeur d'Alene the next day, huh? Interesting. I asked Gower how he knew Kaylee and Maddie. Gower stated he drives for Uber and Lyft, and Kaylee and Maddie have become some of his regular customers, and this is how he met them. Gower stated he was contacted by Kaylee on 11/12/2022 at around 2200 hours and asked if he could pick her and some friends up at 1122 King Road, take them to the corner club. Gower arrived at the address at approximately 2015 hours and picked up Kaylee, Maddie, and one other female. Gower stated at 1:45 on 11/13 he was contacted by Kaylee again and asked if he could pick her up and some friends up at the grub truck. Gower arrived at the grub truck around 1:49. Gower took Kaylee and Maddie home. He stated it was a 3 to 4 minute drive from the grub truck to 1122 King. Gower told me he has been driving for Uber and Lyft since 2019. Gower told me Kaylee has been a regular for at least the last year. Gower stated he was working, but Kaylee did not contact him through the Uber or Lyft app, but instead texted him directly both times. Gower stated when he got to the grub truck, he parked in front of the grub truck on Main Street facing south. Gower texted Kaylee he was there, and she stated they would be there in a second and said they were at order 75 and theirs was 78. Kaylee and Maddie came to the vehicle a short time later. Kaylee was in the front passenger seat, and Maddie was in the rear. Maddie was eating the food from the grub truck with her hands. They all had a casual conversation. Gower stated they appeared to be fine and nothing appeared to be out of the ordinary. Gower stated he still had the text on his phone and he sent screenshots to me. I burned those screenshots to a DVD and booked it into property at a later time, with other documents they had related to the case. How many of these documents did you have for how long until you decided to finally file them at a later time? Blaker, whoever the fuck this is, Blaker, fucking Payne, whoever, Blaker. So just like Dylan's laptop sitting in his car for 3 days, now he's got documents, screenshots, other things that he just booked into property at a later time. Furthermore, why didn't you immediately demand his cell phone and permission to do a forensic extraction like you did with Maisie, like they did with Maisie? So they're not asking Hunter Chapin for a forensic extraction of his phone. They're not asking the private driver for a forensic extraction of his phone. And the private driver was literally one of the last people to see 2 of these victims alive. But nothing in this report about getting him to sign a consent form or cough up his phone. Just, yeah, send me your screenshots. That should be good enough. Your screenshots will do. Right? Pretty interesting. So that was number 114. Let's do 115. And then, oh, was that not number 114? My bad. Which one was that? Oopsie. That was 113, maybe? Yeah, it was. Sorry, that was 113. Let's get to 114. And then on the next one, I'm going to take like a 2-minute break just so you guys know I have to. I have something cooking. So I will have no other choice than to take a break in a minute. I got to go check on some food. Let's get through that one real quick. All right, supplemental report number 114. This is Brett Payne, January 11th. Interview with D. On November 13th, 2022, approximately 14:37, so at 2:37, he's interviewing Jack Decor at the Moscow Police Department, referencing a quadruple homicide which occurred at 1122 King Road. Decor was the redacted, Kaylee's boyfriend, I'm guessing. Decor consented to have his phone forensically searched and provided me with a cell phone at the beginning of the interview. Fucking fuck. This is what you should have done with your fucking door. What's her face? Gower, Grower, whatever the hell his name is. The fake Uber driver. That guy. Why didn't you give him consent to have his phone forensically searched? Know what I mean? Fuck. I asked Decor to tell me about his day, November 12th. November 12th. Decor stated he worked at blank and worked from 1400 to 2210 on November 12th. Decor stated he left his work and dropped off some food for a friend working at the corner club. Decor stated he went home, blank King Road, then returned to the corner club around 2300 hours. Decor stated he saw Gonsalves at the corner club and spoke to her briefly. Decor stated he left the corner club but was unsure if Gonsalves left before or after him. Decor stated he went to bed when he got home. When Decor awoke, he told me he saw, quote, commotion down the street, end quote. 1122 King Road is visible from his house, whatever redacted King Road. Decor stated he later looked at his phone and saw several missed calls from Gonsalves and Mogan from the early morning hours of November 13th. I clarified Decor's timeline for the night prior. He told me he left the corner club at approximately 1 and returned home. Decor said he got a ride from PR, the blank of blank, Decor's fraternity, whatever that means, the blank of blank from Decor's fraternity. Decor said he got a ride from PR, the blank of blank. I don't know. Fucking sober driver or something. He told me he thought he went to sleep at approximately 1:30 and awoke at 11:30 on November 13th. I asked Decor to tell me what the commotion was that he mentioned. Decor told me he saw law enforcement and emergency vehicles in front of 1122 King, so he walked over to see what was happening. I asked Decor to clarify the missed calls he received early that morning. Decor told me he received multiple calls from Gonsalves and Mogan, one of which was a FaceTime between 2:40 and 3. Isn't this right around the time Maddie's looking? Isn't this right around the time Maddie is knocking on Bethany's door looking for the dog? Correct? Maddie and Bethany allegedly have taken the dog outside, and then Maddie has lost the dog, right? Is this why they were blowing up Jack's phone? What about the person who was consistently out back, hiding in the bushes somewhere, and they felt that the dog was running up to this person, but because the dog is so friendly, the dog wasn't being mean, right? There's this consistency where there's a person they've seen a person numerous times now hanging around out back, and the dog has gone running and disappeared for a few minutes, right? Well, if the person's hanging out back and hiding in the woods and the dog runs over and the dog is friendly, but you want to get into that house, maybe you're just going to grab the dog for a minute. Maybe you're going to take the dog with you. Just say it. Between 2:40 and 3 o'clock in the morning, this is the same time frame. Phone, it's also the same time frame that Bethany is saying Maddie is knocking on her door, asking her if she knows where Murphy is. He knew Mogan for some time, but she would not call him for any reason. Decor also said Gonsalves texted him to tell him he could come to her house to retrieve his vape pen. Hmm. I asked Decor if he noticed or heard anything suspicious anytime recently. Decor stated he saw a dark gold minivan backing up to King Road approximately 1 to 2 months prior. Decor stated he did not remember any other suspicious circumstances. Decor did add Gonsalves would call him on occasion when she was walking home alone or when she was, quote, feeling sketched out. Decor stated there were people coming in and out of 1122 King Road frequently, and, quote, more people knew the code to their door than they should have, end quote. Decor stated he was not sure if the residents regularly locked the rear sliding glass door. Decor also told me he and Gonsalves owned a dog, a golden doodle named Murphy. He also told me Gonsalves was taking the dog out sometime in the past when Gonsalves saw a shadowy figure behind the house. Decor stated nothing else came from the incident. I asked Decor about his relationship with Gonsalves. He told me they had dated for approximately 5 years and broke up several months prior. Several months prior, huh? Due to a, quote, loss of spark, coupled with Gonsalves leaving for a job in Texas. Well, we were told they broke up just like a couple weeks prior. But Jack is telling Payne it's been several months. Decor stated there wasn't conflict and the breakup was mutual. I asked Decor if there was anyone who flirted with Gonsalves. Decor stated there was a male by the name of ER who often flirted with Gonsalves. Decor did not know of any past stalking incidents, nor did he know who would have committed the murders. I asked Decor about his conversation with Gonsalves at the corner club. He said the conversation was short but normal. Decor did not have any further information for me during this interview, so I concluded my interview with Decor. Well, got the phone though, right? Yeah. Consented to have his phone forensically searched. Okay, cool. All right, that was number 114. Corporal Brett Payne, thank you so much, sir, for your excellent, excellent work. Supplemental report number 115, also from Brett Payne. Also on January 11th. Ooh, it's investigation of the glove. Captain America finding sheets, finding gloves, finding blood, finding everything everywhere. Just out the gate, he's crushing quadruple homicide investigations like a pro, just crushing it out the gate. Finding sheets, he's finding knives, he's finding blood droplets in other people's fucking houses that look just like the droplets at the crime scene. Okay? Someone give this man an award. I mean, what luck, right? What luck. You're a rookie, you're assigned your first murder case, and out the gate, just crushing it. Finding every crucial key piece of fucking evidence. You know? Get it, Payne. Get it. Is this why you're not a cop anymore, Payne? This is why you left law enforcement? Because you just crushed it so good the first time? Nothing further needed? You handled this so well your first time around. I mean, hey, you don't even need to do it anymore, right? In his own mind, he's probably a fucking legend, you know? Enough of my bullshit. This is the investigation of the glove by Brett Payne. Supplemental report number 115. On November 24th. So it can't be, oh, it's a different glove. This is a different glove. Isn't that interesting? This is a different glove because the glove that Ann Taylor talks about was collected on November 20th by ISP. Here comes Payne 4 days later. Hey, found this other fucking glove. By the way, it's got what looks like blood in it. On November 24, 2022, I collected a black polar penguin glove from the parking lot. The parking lot of 1122 King. So they missed it their first time around and their second time around, but Payne found it. I conducted subsequent investigation by watching the body-worn camera of Officer Nunes, the first MPD officer on scene, and looking over the scene photos taken by ISP. None of these sources showed the glove was present upon officers' initial response to the scene or during the processing of the scene on November 13th. It is unclear where the glove came from at the time of this writing. Interesting. It's not on the body cams. It's not on the scene photos from ISP. Huh. Interesting. 11 days after the crime. So someone's had 11 days to make a bloody glove appear, huh? Isn't that interesting? I know it doesn't say in this report that it was bloody, but I promise you there's another report somewhere about this polar penguin fucking glove that he found that he kicks with his boot and wriggles it around from the frozen ground or whatever. I promise you it's in there. Then again, don't listen to a goddamn thing I say. Go read the shit yourself. You know what I mean? All right, supplemental report number 115, Brett Payne. I'm going to pause here for a second, friends, but what I will do is I'm going to put on some music for you because now that I pay for StreamYard and I already paid for the whole year, I got some good beats for us. We got some good music. I'm going to pee. I got to check on my food, and I'm going to put in some good music for you for about a minute and a half. So don't go anywhere. Hopefully you like it. I'm not going to have it too loud. Okay. And let's see. Which one? Can you guys even hear that or no? I'm not even sure if my music plays, to be honest with you. I don't know if you can hear it. Yeah, you can hear it? Okay, sweet. There you go. Cool. I wonder if I mute though, as if it's still gonna if you'll be able to hear it or not. Hang on.
Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io. Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined.
All right. Hello, hello. We're back. So sorry, friends. Hope you enjoyed the little intermission. What'd you think about the beats? What'd you think? I mean, anybody who, grew up during my time. I love royalty-free music, right? Why not? That was 2 minutes, 15 seconds. See, I told you about 2 minutes, right? Told you. I just had to pee and check on my food. Okay. All right. Let's see. I mean, it's artless. Yeah, the done one. It's artless. I think it said art. I don't even know. I don't know what it means. whatever, it's royalty free and it was a good beat. And I hopefully won't get a damn copyright for it, right? So we'll see. I shouldn't get a copyright, really. It says that it's all royalty free, plus I pay for the subscription to download the free royalty free music. So whatever, there's some website that you can get all the music from. So hopefully I don't get copyrighted. If I do, I'll just have to cut it out, I guess. All right. Let's get on to the next one. Where'd we stop? 115, right? We're going to go to 130. And then I'm out of here. 160. Let's see. All right. Supplement report number 116. Oopsie, made that a little big. Let's see. 116, Dustin Blaker, also on January 11th, trip to Boise with evidence and retrieval of property from Dylan Mortensen. On January 6th, at around 7:10, I retrieved evidence from MPD Evidence Tech TS. I signed for the items and transported them to the Idaho State Police Forensics Lab in Meridian. Refer to Evidence Tech TS records for what specific items were transported. I'll keep my eye out for that. Evidence Tech TS's records. Write that one down, right brain? Evidence Tech TS with the Idaho ISP. If I get anything, we'll want to keep our eye out for Evidence Tech TS records to figure out what specific evidentiary items Blaker here signed out of the MPD evidence law room and transported to Meridian or Boise. He said he's going to Boise. Trip to Boise with evidence. Once I arrived in Meridian, I transferred these items from MPD to the ISP intake receptionist. All items were signed for chain of custody. I was then given several items the lab had tested and were able to be returned to MPD for storage. I signed for all the items and competed the chain of custody. Paperwork on the bags. It's supposed to say completed, Blaker. Prior to coming back to Moscow, I stopped at Dylan Morton's residence in Boise to retrieve the personal items which had been released to her blank earlier in the week by accident. Look at that. I stopped at Dylan Morton's residence in Boise to retrieve the personal items which had been released to her blank earlier in the week by accident. Oopsie. Oopsie poopsie. Just like the fridge, the freezer at the ISP lab, shit in the bed, right? Oopsie. Just an accident. Our bad. We didn't mean to give her and Bethany evidence. We didn't. Oops. Once back in Moscow, I booked all the evidence from the state lab back into property. I left Dylan's personal items locked in the vehicle I was driving. And on 1/9, I transported these items to the city shop and placed them in a secure garage. So he left the shit locked in there for 3 days. Right? January 6th, he did this. But he doesn't go and do anything with the personal items that he collected for 3 days. Not till the 9th. So before he goes and places them at the city shop in a secure garage, they've sat in his car for 3 days, being contaminated. One item of note is as the items were being loaded into the vehicle I was driving, a Ford Fusion, the fucking hybrid, we were able to get everything into the vehicle except a small table. We attempted several times to get the table into the vehicle, but it was not going to fit. Dylan stated they did not care. Oh, wait. Yeah, I guess it's Dylan. Dylan stated they did not care if the table was returned, so she had her husband break the table and place it in the vehicle. On January 10th, I told Ann Taylor, defense counsel for the suspect, about why and who broke the table. And I'm sure Ann Taylor said, "You're full of fucking shit. What do you mean you broke the table? You smashed a piece of evidence, huh? You let someone smash a piece of evidence to get it into the car? Really? Really? Is that what happened, Blaker? Huh? Whoever this redacted D person is, okay, told the husband, go ahead, smash it so we could fit it in the car. And Blaker, the lead investigator, is like, yeah, that's a good fucking idea. Smash the piece of evidence into pieces so we could fit it in the car. Holy shit. Mind you, he's in the fucking hybrid. He's in the hybrid. You can't make it up. I couldn't make this up if I tried. Know what I mean? Mingya. The lead investigator thought it was a good idea to let someone's husband smash a piece of evidence. But they're so competent, but they're wicked competent, Annie. Why don't Annie, your distrust of law enforcement is, you know, it's unacceptable, Annie. I don't know why you don't just trust law enforcement and believe what they tell you. Why are you so distrusting of law enforcement, Annie? That's what Jeff likes to say. That's what fucking Jeff H likes to say to me, Lana, and other people. Our distrust of law enforcement. Bro, I'm not law enforcement, and I understand that you don't allow someone to destroy a piece of evidence. Know what I mean? I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there. I don't think you need to be an investigator to understand. No, sir, you can't take a baseball bat to that piece of evidence and fucking damage it. No, sir or ma'am, I can't let your husband destroy that piece of evidence. I'm sorry. We're going to have to bag it up and I'll come back for it or have ISP pick this shit up. But I can't allow you to take baseball bats to the evidence. Just saying. Blaker should have immediately been like, no, it's a hard pass. No one's destroying the piece of evidence. I'm just saying, but I don't know shit. I don't know shit. Know what I mean? Fucking insane. Let's get to the next one. 117. Supplemental report number 117. Dustin Blaker. Same day, January 11th. You're just cranking this shit out. Assisted defense team with going through items at the police department and city shop. On January 10th, 2023, at around 13:15, I meet with Ann Taylor and her team at the Moscow Police Department. Taylor is the defense attorney for Brian Kohberger. Taylor had arranged to go through the garbage sent to us from Pennsylvania by FBI investigators. Items collected from Madison's room and Xana's room, 2 vehicles belonging to Ethan Chapin, and personal items belonging to Ethan, Dylan, and Bethany. Interesting. What's missing from here? What's missing from this? So Ann Taylor only wants to go through the Coburger trash sent from Pennsylvania by the FBI. She only wants to go through items from Madison's room and Xana's room, 2 vehicles belonging to Ethan, and personal items belonging to Ethan, Dylan, and Bethany. She doesn't want to look at anything for Kaylee, huh? Ann Taylor doesn't want to look at anything for Kaylee, huh? After looking at the garbage, Taylor identified several items she felt we could discard since they contained perishable goods and they had started to spoil. We placed these items on a shelf located in the northeast corner of the storage garage at the police department. Taylor also identified several items she wanted us to keep until she saw reports of these items. Taylor was good with where we were keeping the mattresses, bed frames, nightstands, shelf, and sheets from Madison's room and Xana's room. I escorted Taylor and her team to the city shop, and they went through personal items that were removed from 1122 King Road weeks earlier. These items belong to Bethany, Dylan, and Ethan. When Taylor was done, she identified several items she wanted Moscow Police Department to hold, and she was going to request an order from the judge to take these items and have them tested. These items were placed in cardboard boxes and placed away from the other items so they would not accidentally be released. Taylor and her team looked at both vehicles while at the shop. Taylor stated she would contact Bill Thompson's office and would advise him when she felt items could be released. Deirdre, thank you so much for your super sticker. What is that, a super chat, super sticker? $5 super sticker. Thank you so very much. Really appreciate you. Okay, so that was supplemental report number 117 from Dustin Blaker. Let's get into number 118. Thank you so much, Deirdre. I'm going to star that because at the end, I think it lets me go through everything I've starred if I do it right. So thank you so much. Let's get into the next one. Supplemental report number 118. James Fry. All right. I think I've only seen one other one from James Fry about the little weirdo creep kid who snuck into the house when no one was there. And when the girls came home, he was still there and told his friend they didn't even know I was there. I could have killed them all. Chief Fry took that report. Nothing in that report either about he followed up with them, got his phone data, got him to give me consent to do a forensic download of his phone, check the tower dump to see if he was in the area. Nothing. Nothing. Supplemental report number 118, James Fry, on January 11th. On 12/7, at approximately 10 a.m., Lieutenant Mooney and I packed up personal belongings from Xana and Ethan's room and personal belongings from Madison's room. Captain Lanier, Captain Barrett, Captain Dollinger, Detective Vargas, and Admin Assistant KP helped box up personal items from the 1122 King Road residence. Lieutenant Mooney and I wore protective gloves and shoe booties, which were changed out after completion of Xana's room prior to doing Madison's room. I then left the residence to rent a U-Haul truck. After loading the items into the truck, I drove the vehicle to the secure storage garage at the Moscow City shop. All listed above individuals unpacked the truck into the secured storage garage where they were kept prior to releasing them to family members. Okay. That was 118. Go check supplemental report number 119. Gen 7, I just saw you out of the corner of my eye, darling. How are you? Good to see you. Welcome on in, honey. Happy hump day. All right, supplemental report number 119. This is KP, the assistant, whatever, helping doc shit up. 19 KP 111. This is her narrative. December 7th, approximately 10 a.m., I accompanied Moscow Police Department's command staff and Detective Vargas, as well as Mike Mooney of the Idaho State Police, to 1122 King Road. In the entryway of the residence at 1122 King Road, I put on PPEs to include shoe covers and black latex gloves. My activities inside the residence included: place the personal belongings of Bethany Funk's bedroom into boxes. This bedroom is located on the first floor east side. Captain Roger Lanier and Detective Vargas assisted with this task. I also placed personal belongings of Dylan Mortenson's bedroom into boxes. This bedroom is located on the second floor east side. Detective Vargas assisted with this task. Place the items located on the first floor west side bedroom into boxes and or stacked by the door to be loaded. Captain Lanier and Detective Vargas assisted with this task. After packing the bedrooms, I moved tape boxes from the second floor living room area to the top of the stairway to be passed down the stairs and loaded into the U-Haul truck. After completion of these tasks, I removed my gloves and shoe covers and left the residence. After riding with Captain Barrett and Detective Vargas to the city shop secure garage, I helped unload items from the truck and stack the boxes according to the names on the boxes. The command staff and Detective Vargas assisted with this task. KP, administrative assistant to the chief. Let's see, December 7th, approximately 10, I accompanied Moscow Police Department's command staff and Detective Vargas, as well as Mike Mooney. I think she typed this twice, or I don't know why it's in here twice, but it's in there twice. So the assistant, this KP, administrative assistant to the chief of police, helped pack up the house to load it all into the U-Haul. And this is all happening before, this is happening December 7th, before a suspect has been named, before a defense attorney has been assigned, and before a defense attorney and their criminal forensic investigators have had a chance to go through the crime scene. They have already contaminated and altered the crime scene by removing all of these items from this house and all these rooms. All right, that was supplemental report number 119. Let's get on to 120. We only got 10 more to go after this. I just want to play catch up. I've already read through all of them on my own, but I do want to play catch up here. And I was thinking that maybe after this live, what I'm going to do is for the rest of the documents, I think I'm just going to go through and pick out the most pertinent ones, because some of them, it's literally like one sentence and it just says, see supplemental report number, blah, blah, blah. So like those ones, I don't even feel like they're worth reading. So what do you guys think about that? That maybe from like here on out, the rest of these documents, I'm just going to go pull all of the pertinent ones. We'll read through those together, and then I'll just link the site where if you want to go through every single one of them, you can. But I feel like from here on out after tonight, I'm only going to go through, pick out all of the pertinent ones, and we'll read those. I feel like that's just easier. No? And then we can skip over all the ones that are irrelevant or say nothing. You know what I mean? I feel like that's a better idea, but let me know what you think. All right. Let's see. Supplement report number 120. Roger Lanier, 1/17/2023. On December 7th, 2022, at approximately 9:45, I responded to 1122 King Road with other members of the command team to pack personal items of the residents who lived there. I worked with Detective Vargas and administrative assistant KP to pack Bethany's room, which was on the first floor east end. I primarily built boxes and packed up all of the clothes and shoes in the closet. as well as a few bedding items. The next room we worked on was a bedroom not in use on the first floor, West End. That's the one that Payne said there was shit strewn about the room. In that room, we packed a few miscellaneous items, a computer, shoes, golf clubs, and various items that were stored in the room, and the owner was uncertain. Well, why didn't you do a forensic extraction of the computer then? If you have no idea who owns it, you should have taken it into custody and tested it. Know what I mean? Especially a computer, shoes, golf clubs, and the owner is uncertain. Did you not? So they packed this shit into a box. Where is that box and where's that computer? Let's hope Josiah Roloff got it. I doubt it, because this is everything they were getting ready to load into the U-Haul and make fucking disappear. So, golf clubs, huh? Wonder where those golf clubs went, and where is that fucking computer? And these shoes that you happen to find in that room, did they happen to be approximately 13.5 to 14 inches long? Just wondering, just questions, just questions. The last room we packed, Dylan's room, on the second floor off of the kitchen at the bottom of the stairs. My role in that room was primarily taping boxes together, then taping boxes shut and making them with D's name or the initial D. After completing the packing portion, Chief Fry arrived with a U-Haul van. I stayed in the back of the van and packed boxes as they were carried out from the residence by other team members. After the van was packed, I followed the van driven by Chief Fry in my patrol car to the city shop's secure storage building. At that point, all of the team members unloaded boxes and stacked them by the room in the storage building, the secured door to the and then secured the door and left. I just want to know where that computer is. I'd want that computer if I'm Ann Taylor. Just saying, maybe they don't care. Brian took his fucking plea, you know. If the feds are looking into this in the background, which I hope they are, feds, find that box, find this box, get that computer, extract whatever's on it, go through it, find them golf clubs too. Just saying, feds. I know you're listening. Hop to it. All right, next one. Number 121. Here we go. Supplemental report number 121. Tyson Barrett, 1/18/2023. Mogan text message release. On 12/14, KL asked if there was a way to ensure the personal text messages and photos shared between her and Madison would not be deleted or lost off of Madison's phone. I told her I would check with our forensic detective. On 12/15, I talked with Detective Mowry about saving the messages and photos on Madison's phone that were between her and redacted. Detective Mowry said he could save the information separately on a disk. He then suggested providing the disk to Laramie. I then spoke with the Latah County prosecutor, and he said I could release the disk to Laramie. On 12/19, I mailed the disk to Laramie. On 12/20, Laramie contacted me and said she received the disk. Well, that was nice of them. So at least we know Maddie's mom got all of her pictures and everything and text messages between her and her mother out of the phone. So that's good. 121. Let's go to 122. Okay. Make that bigger. Here we go. Supplemental report number 122. Brett Payne, January 20th, 2023. Phone interview with K and EA. I mean, obviously, we're assuming it's Emily Alant, but I'm not sure. I don't know who KA is and EA. On 1/18/2023, I spoke to KA and EA, referencing a suspicious occurrence she and E remembered at 1122 King. I called Kay and asked her what she remembered. Kay told me she came to Moscow to celebrate E's birthday on redacted November 2022. Redacted. Kaylee had planned the party for E at 1122 King for that evening. Kay stated that several people, to include Gonsalves and E, were on the back patio during the party. Gonsalves's dog Murphy was also present. Kay stated Murphy ran up into the bushes behind the house on several occasions and would not return when called. Just like that morning. Just like that morning between 2:30 and 3. Maddie and Bethany take the dog out, and then Maddie's downstairs looking for the dog, knocking on Bethany's door. Kay told me, yeah. Okay, sorry, lost my place. Kay stated Murphy ran up into the bushes behind the house on several occasions and would not return when called. Kay stated they called Murphy numerous times before he would come back. Kay told me the group eventually went inside and shut the door. This was the only occurrence Kay was present for, but told me E remembered similar occasions. I called E on 1/19/2023 to reference these occurrences. So he spoke to this girl or person, KA, on 1/18. And then after speaking to this person on 1/19, he calls E. E also related the occasion on her birthday and added, it was unlike Murphy to not immediately return home when called, which is the reason she and Gonsalves were concerned about someone being behind the house when Murphy would behave in this manner. E told me about another occasion on October 29th, during which she was at 1122 King Road for a Halloween party. E told me Mogan, Gonsalves, Kernodle, and Chapin were all present at the party. During the party, E stated the group gathered on the back patio once again, and Murphy began to run to the wood line behind the house and wouldn't come back. E told me they, quote, heard noises too, end quote. She described these noises as similar to what it would sound like if someone was moving throughout the woods on foot. This occasion took place midday, and they did not see anyone behind the house. However, Murphy's behavior and the noises caused them to go inside and closed the door. The last occasion that E remembered took place approximately 2 weeks prior to the homicides. That's also Halloween, 2 weeks prior to the homicide. So October 29th, like she just said, 10/29. Well, right? The last occasion E remembers took place approximately 2 weeks prior to the homicides. That would also be the weekend of Halloween. E was unsure of the date. I mean, 2 weeks prior to the homicides, that's right around Halloween. E stated Murphy displayed similar behavior of running into the woods and not coming back when called. E also recalled an occurrence during this same time frame, exact date unknown, wherein she and Gonsalves returned to 1122 King Road and found the rear sliding door standing open, and Murphy was missing. E stated they had to go out and look for Murphy after they found the door open. Just like Maddie and Bethany that night. Obviously, they didn't find the door open, but on November 4th, while Kaylee was at home for the weekend, the rest of these girls came home at 11 o'clock at night on November 4th, and the front door had all the hinges loosened and the door was open. And they all grabbed golf clubs from the first floor bedroom there, the unoccupied bedroom, and proceeded to walk around the house with golf clubs in hand, just in case someone was still there. So isn't that interesting? So just 2 weeks prior, right around the weekend of Halloween, they're coming home to the door open, Murphy's missing. Prior to that, 10:29, Murphy is running to the woods, won't come back when being called. I mean, it just sounds like whoever is back there is letting the dog come and smell them and get used to them and used to their presence and used to them being there. So that when it's go time, the dog knows who they are. That's exactly what it sounds like to me. Or, or hear me out, it's one of these cops that were always patrolling around there and watching that house. I mean, I'm just saying, if they're hanging out around the back because they're watching the house, they want to see the activity going on, they're listening, underage drinking, fucking drug use, blah, blah, blah. For all we know, it's a cop back there on patrol and he doesn't want them to fucking know that he's there. You know what I mean? Just saying. Could be, could be a multitude of things that the dog it may be nothing. It could be an animal. I'm just saying, doesn't necessarily have to be a person, but it's really interesting that all of this is occurring 2 weeks prior to the homicides, right around the weekend of Halloween. And on November 4th, while Kaylee's away for the weekend, the rest of them come home to the door. The hinges have been loosened. So, like, someone literally loosened the hinges and popped the door off rather than breaking and entering, right? Rather than kicking the door in or breaking a lock, loosen the hinges and open the door. Isn't that interesting? All right. So, supplemental report number 122 from Brett Payne was that. Let's go on to number 123. Almost there, friends. It is sus, isn't it, young black economist? I agree with you, darling. Kane B, see you later. Have a good night. Are you going to work? Oh, Jane. Bye, Jane. Have a good night. I thought Kane was saying bye. They're saying bye to Jane. Bye, Jane. Hope you have a great night. All right. Next one. Supplemental report number 123. Tyson Barrett. Here we go. This is January 20th, 2023. Initial response. So the crime happened November 13th, 2022. He's typing up his initial response report January 20th, over 2 months after the crime. On November 13th, 2022, at around noon, I received a phone call from Sergeant Gunderson informing me his team responded to a call at 1122 King Road, where they found 4 deceased college-age individuals inside the residence. He said it was apparent they had all been murdered. Sergeant Gunderson said they did not know the location or identity of the suspect. Sergeant Gunderson said his team had cleared the residence and secured the scene. He said they identified a group of college-age individuals outside the residence and had started interviewing them. I called Chief Fry, Captain Lanier, and Captain Dollinger to let them know about the homicide. I called Detective Sergeant Lawrence. I told them about the homicide and asked him to call in detectives. Interesting. Sergeant Lawrence said he would call in Sergeant Blaker and Corporal Payne to assist as well because they were slated to rotate into detectives soon. Uh, 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 uh. Oh boy. Lawrence, Blaker, Payne. Interesting. So Sergeant Lawrence decided he's going to call Flynn, Sergeant Blaker, and Corporal Payne? Well, because, I mean, they're going to be detectives soon anyway, guys. So, might as well. Why not? Throw them on the case. I mean, they're going to be, they're going to be rotated into their detective role soon anyway. So why not? Sergeant Lawrence said he was also calling the Idaho State Police to ask the Region 2 detectives to process the crime scene. Perfect. I called BE, Blaine Eccles, University of Idaho Dean of Students, and BL with the U of I Office of Public Safety and Security to inform them of the homicide because the residence was near the U of I campus and the victims appeared to be college students. Interesting. So it's an off-campus house where the murder has occurred, but you still feel like you need to call the university to get them involved immediately. When I arrived on scene, I met with Sergeant Gunderson and Sergeant Lawrence on the street in front of the residence. So Gunderson and Lawrence have already been inside the house. We briefly discussed the scene, and I was given the names of the 4 individuals who were killed: Ethan Chapin, Xander Knodel, Madison Mogan, and Kaylee Gonsalves. I was also told 2 of the witnesses outside, Dylan Mortensen and Bethany Funky, were roommates and were apparently inside the residence when the incident occurred. Inside the residence when the incident occurred. What incident? I thought they didn't hear nothing. Sergeant Gunderson told me a dog was taken out of Kaylee Gonsalves' room and transported to the Humane Society for safekeeping. He told me it didn't appear the dog had gone into the rooms where the murders were committed because it didn't have any visible blood on its body. Okay, that don't mean shit, Gunderson. Dipshit. It doesn't mean nothing. Doesn't appear to have blood on it. Okay, well, that's exactly what forensics is for, motherfucker, because it's not up to you to determine that. You're not forensics. Your eyeballs aren't forensic testing. Your visual observations aren't forensic testing. For all you know, someone gave the dog a bath. You know what I'm saying? How do they know the dog wasn't cleaned up or anything? Oh, well, it doesn't look like he's been in the room. He doesn't look like he's been in any blood. So fuck it. Let him go. We don't need to test him. Hang on, friends. Okay, sorry about that, guys. So yeah, this one's really interesting, right? Only because Gunderson here is like, well, I mean, the dog, it doesn't appear the dog's gone into any other rooms because I did see any visible blood on it. So I had someone else remove the dog from the scene and take it to the Humane Society. No wonder Ann Taylor is like, give me all of his training records. No wonder Ann Taylor is like, okay, I need his fucking training records. He literally removed the dog from the scene. Really? Okay. I contacted the University of Idaho Dean Eccles, gave him the victims' names, and asked if he could verify if they were students. He contacted me later and confirmed all 4 were students, but didn't have any emergency contact information for them other than their permanent addresses. Isn't that interesting? None of these kids had an emergency contact listed, a parent, nothing, including Ethan. At 13:04, the University of Idaho sent out a vandal alert via text message regarding the homicides. At about 13:30, we moved the witness, who I believe were students, that patrol identified on King Road to the Moscow Police Department training room. I met with Sergeant Lawrence, Sergeant Blaker, Corporal Payne, and Detective Mallory and asked them to start interviewing each person. There we go. So interviews started at 1:30. I also met with CF, U of I Associate Dean of Students at the police department. I talked to her earlier about having the students come to the police department to be interviewed. F had an assistant with her, and they were there to comfort the students and be a resource if necessary. While I was in the training room, I was told two of the witnesses were Ethan Chapin's siblings, Maisie and Hunter. They told me their parents had been informed of Ethan's death and they were on their way to Moscow. I asked Sergeant Lawrence to arrange death notifications for Kaylee Gonsalves and Madison Mogan's parents. He later informed me a Kootenai deputy went to the Gonsalves' home to notify them of Kaylee's death, and they had already been made aware. Hmm. A Kootenai County deputy went to the Gonsalves home to notify them of Kaylee's death, and they had already been made aware. By who? Who knew that Kaylee was dead prior to the police confirming it? Captain Dollinger told me he met Santa Kernodle's father, Jeff, on scene. Hmm. Captain Dollinger said he asked Jeff to meet him at the police department, where he informed him of Xana's death. Sergeant Lawrence said a Coeur d'Alene officer went to Scott and Karen Laramie's house to notify them of Madison Mogan's death. Karen is Madison's mother. Sergeant Lawrence was informed that the Laramies had been informed and were already on their way to Moscow. When the Laramies arrived at the police department, I did the death notification and asked Sergeant Lawrence to interview them. Around 14:15, I met with the president, Scott Green, and his staff in his office on campus. I told them about the homicide and that the suspect's location and identity remained unknown. I returned to the police department and JD had approached me asking if I could release the dog, Murphy, to him at 2:15 in the afternoon, right? At 14:15, I met with President Scott Green. So that's at 2:15. We don't know how long he was there. Say an hour or so, a couple hours. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. 2, 3 hours, right? That's 2:15. We'll say by 5 o'clock. He's returning to the police department, and Jack DeCour is there saying, "Can I get my fucking dog?" Isn't that interesting? I'm sorry. I'm just saying, really? That's all you're worried about, Jack, huh? Is the dog? Know what I mean? You went back to the, so this is after Corporal Payne has already interviewed you too, buddy. You just want the dog, huh? I returned to the police department and Jack DeCour approached me asking if I could release the dog Murphy to him. He said he and Kaylee Gonsalves both owned the dog. At that point, I was busy working with detectives and administration and didn't release the dog. Mikey S., thank you so much. You're awesome. Aw, appreciate you, buddy. Is that a super sticker, super chat? Thank you for your super chat. Really appreciate you, my friend. He said, he and okay, so, and this guy's like, listen, I'm busy. I don't have time. What do you mean the dog? I'm trying to figure out 4 homicides here, Jack. Okay. I don't have time for the dog bullshit, right? Just say that's what it sounds like. It sounds like he's more concerned about the dog, if you want my honest opinion. But I don't know shit, and I have brainworms, so don't listen to me. I talked with Corporal Payne, who had interviewed Jack DeCour. He said DeCour had been in a relationship with Kaylee, indicating they broke up a few months ago. Corporal Payne said DeCour told him he and Gonsalves remained friends after the breakup. I asked about the dog that had been removed from the residence and taken to the animal shelter. Corporal Payne said DeCour told him that he and Kaylee both owned the dog. Later that afternoon, DeCour approached me again and asked if I could release the dog. I called Captain Lanier, who was with Sergeant Gunderson, outside of the 1122 King Road residence. Captain Lanier confirmed with Sergeant Gunderson that they understood Decor co-owned the dog, and the dog was taken to the animal shelter for safekeeping. I was told the dog was uninjured and didn't have any blood on it. I agreed to release Murphy to Decor because it was my understanding we had only taken the dog into custody for safekeeping and he was the owner. I asked to have a patrol officer meet Decor at the animal shelter to release the dog. I continued to work with detectives and command staff for the rest of the day. I don't know, man. Like, I listen. You guys know how much I love animals, right? I really do. And if that was my pet, I would be the same way. Fuck you. Give me my dog, you fucking assholes. You know what I'm saying? There's no reason for you to keep my dog or whatever. But like, at this point, the dog hasn't even been checked. The drains haven't been checked. We have no idea if the dog has been bathed, if his paws have been wiped. There could still be blood up in between the padding that no one checked for. Do you get what I'm saying? He's a labradoodle with that curly hair. There still could have been skin cells, microscopic DNA in his fur, microscopic biological trace evidence from the crime scene, and nobody bothered to check. Nobody bothered to check is the point that I'm getting at. And all he cares about is getting his dog. Know what I mean? Where I'd be like, listen, do what you need to do. Go ahead and take some fur from under his paws. I'll come in and trim the fucking fur off for you. Take whatever you need to take from my dog and give me back my fucking dog. Right? That's what I'd be saying. I get it. My dog was at the crime scene. Do whatever you need to do. Make it quick. I'll come in and trim the fur and shit myself. You could take his clippings, whatever you need, his hair, his fur, right? I don't know. I'm just saying. That's just me. Pretty interesting, though. He's like, yo, give me my dog. Then he goes back again, give me my dog. All right. Supplement report number 124. All right. 124. This is from Danny Vargas, January 20th, 2023. Friends and family area canvas. On November 20th, 2022, multiple friends and family of the victims gathered in Moscow, organized into several groups, and canvassed several areas in Moscow for possible evidence. I was contacted by several people from the groups when they located something of interest. I met with the groups and photographed and collected the following items: a clear food service grade plastic glove located at the top of the hillside to the west of the walking path in between Nez Perce and the U of I administration building. Just down from where this plastic glove was located was a large, beige, metal Generac generator box. There was a plastic bag inside of the box, which looked like it had white grease rags inside of it. I photographed this item and did not collect it. A light pink, beige pair of women's underwear, Warner's brand. This was located in a juniper shrub by the Shattuck Amphitheater in the Charles Houston Shattuck Arboretum. A black winter glove, one size fits all. This item was located near the steps which led from Memorial Gym parking lot 39 up to the tennis courts. The items I collected were transported to MPD, stored in a temporary storage in detectives so they could dry, and were later booked into MPD evidence. One group located what they believed to be blood spots on several rocks in the Arboretum and Botanical Garden, near the gathering place on the north side near the kiosk. Detective Talbot with ISP tested the spots and determined they were not blood. One group located what they believed to be blood on the stairs at Building 5 at the Grove Apartments. Detective Talbot determined this was not blood. The photos I took were copied to a DVD and booked in MPD evidence. Interesting. November 20th. Glove, huh? Black winter glove. Okay. That was supplemental report number 124. Let's go into 125. Yeah, I know, right, Lucy? Lots of underwear in that town, all over the place. Chief Fry and Lanier found a bunch of clothes, women's underwear, pipes of various sizes in the bushes, and they were like, "Man, fuck it. We'll just leave it there." Probably has nothing to do with nothing. We don't know for sure, but we'll take a guess. It probably means nothing, so just ignore it. Supplemental report number 125, fucking Gunderson. Detailed information about Kaylee Gonsalves's dog during the initial response. On November 13th, 2022, at approximately 12:05, I arrived at 1122 King Road, 12:05, referencing an unconscious subject. It was quickly determined the scene was likely a quadruple homicide based on our observations. When I arrived on the third floor to assess the scene, I noticed a medium-sized, curly-haired tan dog on the bed inside the western third floor bedroom, later identified as Kaylee Gonsalves's room. The dog appeared timid, scared, and didn't react to our presence. Due to the chaos surrounding the scene, my initial concern was preserving the scene. As part of that process, I asked one of the officers to shut the door so the dog did not attempt to jump on the bed with any of the victims. After the area was cordoned off and the area was secure, Corporal Snyder began taking photos of the scene. At some point prior to this process, the dog moved from the bed to under the desk in Kaylee's room. After photos were completed, I asked LCSO, Latah County Sheriff's Office Deputy Olson, to respond and assist by taking the dog to the Humane Society of the Palouse for safekeeping. I collected the dog from under the desk, so he collected it. Huh? Gunderson did. The dog was timid and took some coaxing to move from under the desk, but did not appear to have any obvious injuries or stains on its body or paws. Timid and took some coaxing. Yeah, I bet it did. Poor dog's probably like, yo, you motherfuckers for shit. You know what? I'll keep it to myself. Due to the amount of blood inside the bedrooms where the victims were located and the lack of blood on or around the dog, I don't believe the dog was on or around the victims. I walked the dog to the front door where Officer Warner was stationed and asked him to hold on to the dog until Deputy Olson arrived. A short time later, Deputy Olson arrived. I walked the dog from Officer Warner to Deputy Olson, who was standing in the street. At my request, Deputy Olson transported the dog to the Humane Society of the Palouse. I asked Deputy Olson to write on the intake sheet for the Humane Society to not release the dog to anyone unless Moscow police gave approval first. After I released the dog to Deputy Olson, I resumed managing the scene until I was relieved by the detectives unit. I did not take any photos of the dog specifically during my response to the scene. Some of the photos taken by Corporal Snyder, evidence item 1, have the dog in the background. The dog can also be seen on my body-worn camera. Perfect. In reviewing Officer Noon's body-worn camera of his initial response and clearing of the residence, the door to Gonsalves's bedroom was open upon his arrival, and the dog was laying on the bed. Poor Murphy. I certify or declare blah, blah, blah. Poor Murphy. Poor baby. Oh, Like, it actually breaks my heart to think that poor Murphy knows, because he knows by the scent and he knows by everything that what's going on in the house. Dogs know. So he's just laying on the bed sad, curled up in a ball sad, and it's just the poor baby. Poor little Murphy. Poor thing knew what happened, and he's just curled up on her bed, sad. Oh, all right. Supplemental report number 126. Lawrence Mowry, January 24th, 2023. It's for the University of Idaho video. On January 11th, 2023, I met with KN, General Counsel for the University of Idaho, to facilitate the download of video footage from the campus security cameras. So he had to meet with the lawyer, General Counsel for the university, eh? I previously spoke with DL, Director of Infrastructure Services, who had preserved videos to be reviewed for any evidence related to the quadruple homicides at 1122 King Road on November 13th. I provided the university with a storage device capable of storing large amounts of video. On January 18th, so 7 days later, I received a message stating the transfer of the videos was complete and the storage device could be picked up. On January 23rd, so 5 days after it's ready, he retrieved the storage device from N and returned it to the Moscow police station, where a copy of the data was transferred to the server in the secure computer forensics lab. The files were verified by hash value to ensure bit for bit copying was completed. Perfect. Was I not sharing that? Son of a bitch. I'm so sorry. I didn't even share that with you guys. Let's try that again. 126. My bad, friends. Lawrence Mowry. U of I video. So January 11th, he meets with the lawyer for the university to facilitate the download of video footage from the campus security cameras. Previously spoke with DL, Director of Infrastructure Services, who had preserved videos to be reviewed for any evidence related to the quadruple homicides at 1122 King. I provided the university with a storage device capable of storing large amounts of data, large amounts of video. On January 18th, so 7 days later, he's alerted that the transfer of the videos is complete and the storage device can be picked up. 5 days after he's told the device is ready to be picked up, he retrieves the storage device from N, returns it to the Moscow Police Department, where a copy of the data was transferred to the server in the secure computer forensics lab. The files were verified by hash value to ensure bit for bit copying was completed. All right. That was number 126. Let's go to number 127. All right. This one's sharing, right? Yeah. All right. Supplemental report number 127 from Lawrence Mowry, January 24th, 2023. This is what I was talking about earlier. Financial warrants. On November 19th, 2022, I applied for and was granted several warrants for financial institutions who serve the Moscow, Idaho region. Forensic account MD with the Federal Bureau of Investigations, forensic accountant Michael Douglas with the Federal Bureau of Investigations assisted in the production and service of the warrants. The warrants were approved for financial records associated with Ethan Chapin, Madison Mogan, Xana Kernodle, Kaylee Gonsalves, LAM, date of birth 2002, Bethany Grace Funk, BGF, Dylan M. Mortensen. So I have no idea who LAM is. but they were specifically looking into LAM's financial records when they were doing their warrants. LAM. I don't know who that is. And any video surveillance pertaining to account transactions of the previously mentioned from the following financial institutions. So they also wanted the video surveillance pertaining to any account transactions of any of these people, including LAM. So we have Bank of America. Warrant was served on November 21st, 2022. Special Agent Douglas reported the data requested pursuant to the warrant was received December 6th. We have Block, which is Square or Cash App. Warrant was served November 19th, 2022. Special Agent Douglas reported the data requested pursuant to the warrant was received on November 20th, 2022. We have PayPal and Venmo. Warrant was served November 19th, 2022. Special Agent Douglas reports the data requested pursuant to the warrant was requested November 21st, 2022. Received November 21st, 2022. We have Umpqua Bank. This financial warrant and the video surveillance warrant were served on November 22nd, 2022. Same day they're putting the trap and trace on Molly. Special Agent Douglas reported the data requested pursuant to the warrant was received on November 3rd. Next. Oh, and that was it. Okay, so we have Umpqua Bank, PayPal, Venmo, Block Inc., which is Square Inc. or Cash App, and Bank of America. And this LAM person, I have no idea who that is, but LAM, Special Agent Douglas of the FBI, LAM, whoever you are, the FBI was crawling all over your financial records, friend, just so you know. All right, that was number 127. Let's go to number 128. I assumed it had someone to do with Dylan, just because the last name was M, someone say L.A. Mortensen, but I don't know. I have no idea, and I'm not going to try to guess. I already got enough brainworms over this case, and I'm done trying to guess initials and shit. Know what I mean? That's so fucking 2.5 years ago, trying to figure out who people are and their initials. I'm not going to melt my brain over that no more. I'm sure there's plenty of people on the internet who know exactly who these initials are, and I applaud their efforts. You're better than I. Here we go. Supplemental report number 128. Lawrence Mowry, January 24th, 2023. Here we go again. LAM in these financial warrants. Date of birth 2002. So it can't be someone's mother. It can't be someone's aunt. This is someone who's the same age as them. Technically a year younger than Kaylee, a year younger than Maddie. She is the age of Xana at the time. Yeah, she's Xana's age at the time. Whoever this LAM person is, either he, she, they, were born in 2002. Their date of birth is here with the year. So I don't know who that is, but whatever. On November 27th, 2022, I applied for several warrants for financial institutions who serve Moscow. Forensic accountant Michael Douglas with the Federal Bureau of Investigations assisted in the production and service of the warrants. On November 28th, so this is separate because the ones we just read were for like November 21st or 19th or whatever. This is different. On November 27th. On November 28th, my requests for those warrants were approved for the following financial records associated with Ethan Chapin, Madison Mogan, Xander Carnodal, Kaylee Gonsalves, LAM, Bethany Grace Funk, Dylan M. Mortensen. And any video surveillance pertaining to account transactions. Video surveillance pertaining to account transactions from the following financial institutions. American Express. Warrant was served November 28th, 2022. Special Agent Douglas reported the data requested pursuant to the warrant was received January 13th, 2023. Next is Banner Bank. Warrant was served November 28th, 2022. Special Agent Douglas reported the data requested pursuant to the warrant was received December 6th. Discover Bank. Warrant was served November 28th, 2022. Special Agent Douglas reported data requested pursuant to the warrant received December 9th. Idaho Central Credit Union. Warrant was served November 28th. Douglas reports data is ready November 30th. Interesting. November 30th. Same day they ended the trap and trace on Molly. And then we have Numerica Credit Union. Warrant was served November 28th. Special Agent Douglas reports the data is received November 29th. Potlatch First Federal Credit Union. Warrant was served November 28th, 2022. Special Agent Douglas reported the data requested was received December 9th. And we have Wells Fargo. That's the one I want. I have my eye on. I want the records for Wells Fargo. Warrant was served November 28th. Special Agent Douglas reported the data requested was ready December 30th. Interesting. Same day they were arresting Brianna. Wells Fargo. They put it in November 28th and they didn't get it back till December 30th. Same day that they're arresting him, right? All right. And that was for that. Okay, so that's supplemental report number 128. More of the banking warrants. Let's get into number 129. We are almost there, friends. Almost there. We're actually going to hit our goal tonight. The other night, I didn't hit my goal. Tonight, we're going to make it to 130, though. Almost done. All right, supplemental report number 129. Lawrence Mowry, January 24th, 2023. Microsoft preservation redacted. On December 7th, 2022, I was requested by Corporal Brett Payne to complete a preservation letter on the Microsoft Xbox gamer tag of redacted, which was reportedly the user ID for CC. Who is CC? I don't want to melt my brain trying to figure that one out. But Corporal Brett Payne here is asking Mowry to complete a preservation letter on the Microsoft Xbox gamer tag of redacted, which was reportedly the user ID for CC. I completed a PDF document and submitted the preservation request through Microsoft's LE portal located at leportal.microsoft.com. I received an email at approximately 11:42 stating they received the request and assigned the internal ID number redacted. Yeah, this isn't for Brian. This is for whoever is CC. This is the gamer tag, the Xbox gamer tag of CC. And their gamer tag name is redacted. So I have no idea who CC is. Couldn't tell you. All right. Final one, friends. Give yourselves a huge round of applause. Huge pat on the back. You made it through this whole thing. We're going on to number 130. Here we go. Supplemental report number 130. It's from Danny Vargas, January 25th. What's my thing doing? Come on. Let's go. January 25th. So, all right. Supplemental report number 130. Danny Vargas, January 25th, 2023. Video collection and tips. Tips provided. On November 17th, 2022, Detective Chris Eagle with PPD provided me with an email with information regarding several Pullman home invasions involving a possible suspect of JAC. I forwarded this email to the FBI Moscow tip line to be assigned and followed up with. On December 13th, 2022, I saw an article online of the recent arrest of SH in Redacted. H was arrested for stabbing multiple people at a casino in Redacted and fled the area in a white sedan. Jesus. I reached out and spoke with Detective M.A. with Redacted County Sheriff's Office. Detective A provided me with the description of the suspect vehicle and the weapon which was used in this offense, all redacted. Detective A also stated the sheath for the knife was located on the passenger seat of the suspect vehicle. I determined this person was not involved in our incident and told Detective A I would not need any further information regarding their incident. Around December 15th, I received a phone call from Detective F from Redacted County Sheriff's Office with information on an abandoned 2016 white Hyundai Elantra, which was located in Redacted County near a residence. I called Detective F back and he provided me with the plate, which is registered to CC. Oh, well, there we go. Look at that. Okay, now we know who CC is. Out of Redacted. Detective F stated there was a past contact at the residence where this vehicle was seen parked involving a relative of C. E, P, C, and RLS. Hang on. C, C. Hang on. What was that last one? 129? I think it was 129. What the fuck? That's interesting. So this is the crashed white Elantra in Oregon, December 15th. Information on an abandoned 2016 white Elantra located in blank county near a residence. Cars registered to CC out of Redacted. Detective F stated there was a past contact at the residence where this vehicle was seen parked involving a relative of C, EPC, and RLS. Detective F sent me a photo of the vehicle, which I determined did not match the suspect vehicle description. Who wrote this? Danny Vargas. Interesting. Sergeant Blaker also had received this tip from Detective F and spoke with him. On November 15th, I called KF, the property owner for Redacted Linda Lane, and asked about video footage he has on the property. F stated he did have video and later sent me an email with a direct login to his camera system so the videos could be viewed for any time frame. Details of the emails are below. R&D Below is a link to a Google Drive with footage from our cameras at Redacted Linda Lane. I uploaded videos from 2 cameras from 2 through 6 on 11/13. 2 through 6. Why didn't you just get midnight 6? One camera shows the parking lot of Redacted, including a little bit of the parking lot from the Queen Road Apartments. The other camera covers the street of Linda Lane, looking towards Taylor and Blake. The longer videos, larger files, show an entire hour, while the shorter videos show clips where the camera system detected motion. The videos are currently uploading, so keep refreshing if they are not all there. Additionally, I am providing a login to the camera system so that you can review any of the cameras for any time frame. He provides the website link, username, and password. Once logged in, you can choose any of the 4 cameras from the list. So there's 4 cameras, but we're only getting 2, huh? Once logged in, you can choose from any of the 4 cameras from the list on the right. You can click on the playback tab at the top and then the date from the calendar on the right. Then use the timeline at the bottom to select when to view. Note that the camera that points down to Linda Lane goes offline every day for Redacted for a scheduled Wi-Fi reset. In addition to using a web browser to view the videos, there is a PC app and a mobile app that can be downloaded and installed. Just search for Redacted. You can use the same IP address in the URL above along with Redacted when configuring the app. If you need help viewing any of this, don't hesitate to reach out. Cell phone number, Redacted. This is Kane Francis Tesher, however you say his name. Sage, the kid that was always calling in. You guys remember those phone calls from Sage to 911 that Lana got? Sage Francentice, however you say his name. Kane. This is Kane. Interesting. All right. I forwarded this information to FBI Rob Hill on how to access the Linda Lane video. On November 27th, 2022, I called CF, who lives at Redacted Drive. I asked F if she still had her Nest camera system. She stated she did. F put me in contact with her husband, BB, and said he could provide me with their available camera footage. B brought a hard drive to MPD, which contained video footage from their Nest cameras. Interesting. A white sedan, matching the description of the suspect vehicle, is seen traveling west on Indian Hills Drive and passes by blank Redacted Indian Hills Drive on 11/13/2022 at approximately 3:25. Around the end of November and beginning of December, Detective Chris Engel, PPD, provided me with the following videos from several Pullman businesses. On December 2nd, 2022, Detective Chris Engel provided me with the contact information for Redacted Pullman, Washington. I reached out to the corporate security head, MG, and he stated, we could come to the branch in Pullman and view the video on site to see if it would be of any evidentiary value prior to requesting a search warrant to obtain the video. FBI RP made arrangements to review the available video at Redacted. FBIP called me and told me he viewed the available video and did not locate anything of evidentiary value. On January 3rd, 2023, KL, Pullman PD record specialist, sent a link to ppdevidence.com and shared all videos and photos for 2 PPD cases. Redacted and D. Redacted was a found buck knife in a sheath located on Terreview in front of the WSU Technology Research Park on December 29th, 2022. The photos for this case are attached in Spillman to the original call, and I did not download the photos from ppdevidence.com. Redacted was a hit-and-run DUI accident at Redacted, which occurred 11/12/2022. This is Carmen. This location is on the same road leading to Koberger's apartment complex. Multiple... wait a minute. Redacted was a found buck knife in a sheath located on Terview in front of the WSU. So that's on 12/29. Then the second one is evidence of this hit and run for Carmen. Location is on the same road leading to Koberger's apartment complex. Multiple officers responded to this location and remained on scene for several hours with their in-car cameras and body cameras capturing video. The video spanned from November 12th, 2022 at 23:41 hours to 11/13/2022 at 3:25. Interesting. 3:25. The suspect vehicle was located on WSU Greek Row, and officers responded to that location as well. Carmen, the owner of the suspect vehicle, was contacted and arrested for this offense and booked into the Whitman County Jail. While reviewing the photos located on Koberger's phone, I found a screenshot of Carmen Whitman County booking information taken from the Whitman County jail roster, last modified date 11/13/2022 at 6:27 p.m. I downloaded all of the videos from ppdevidence.com regarding Carmen and will review to see if Koberger drove by the incident between 23:41 and 3:25. Interesting. I wonder why Mr. Koberger is so worried in Carmen's car accident. I wonder why Mr. Koberger wanted to take a screenshot of Carmen's arrest photo. That's interesting, isn't it? Stop sharing that. Close that out. Holy shit, friends, we made it. You made it till the bitter end. Give yourselves a huge round of applause, right? Let's clap it on out. Clap it on out. Right? You guys are awesome. There's still 100 of you here, so I mean, holy shit. I hope you guys have such a great Wednesday. I hope you enjoyed the read through of the docs. I hope that you guys just go enjoy the rest of your night. I know that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go eat some food, relax, lay in front of the AC and the fans because it's hot AF, you know? But I hope you guys know how much I appreciate you here. And thank you to every single one of you for your super stickers and your super chats. And Jackie B, thank you so much for your Cash App. I did see that a little Cash App went through from you, and you're amazing. And I truly appreciate you, Miss Jackie. I hope you're having a great night. And yeah, you guys go enjoy the rest of your night. We're going to pick this back up again tomorrow. Like I said, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the rest of these, pick out all of the pertinent, important ones. We'll read through those. You know, the ones that don't really say much or just say, hey, go look at this other supplemental report instead. We're not going to bother with those. From here on out, we're only going to go through all of the important ones. How about that? And we'll skip over all the shit that don't matter. Sound like a deal? I hope that works for everybody. Thank you, Carrie, so much. I truly appreciate you. Transformer, hello. Well, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here. Good to see you. Chipmunk feet, too fast, as always. So good to see you. Lucy, right brain, love you. Darling, I hope that you're going to go rest, though, Lucy. Seriously. Just go rest and snuggle the puppers, okay? I'm sending you an awesome, awesome little gift care package. Gen 7, thank you for being here. Momos, thank you. Typically unique. Holy shit, didn't even see you, darling. Hello. So yeah, thank you, everybody. We'll catch you on the flip side. probably tomorrow. Turn your notifications on, and we'll see you then. Have a great night, everybody. Bye.
Artlist.io.